The holidays are for Hollabox.
That's good.
Because
that's really good.
There's nothing like going to Hollabox in November, December. It's getting a cool outside.
I also feel like you can eat more. Like, I feel like on a day when it's a crisp 42 degrees, I can eat 5 schnitzels.
Also, don't sleep on getting some Christmas gifts and some of your Thanksgiving stuff.
Ornaments, gummies, costumes. I mean, any type of German gifts.
At the market.
Yeah, they have a lot of to-go. They have to-go food from the restaurant, but they also have, like, snacks and stuff that you can only get in Germany right there in the market. And then the Outfitter. I used to talk about the Outfitters, but, like, now you and I have been there. And we had the cutest little old lady, like, sizing us up and getting us into our lederhosen. Dude, if you haven't been and talked to those sweet little mamas.
It's legit.
It's so fun. It was how nice were those ladies?
It's like you're in Germany.
They're just so sweet.
Yeah, like a little German, lederhosen store.
Yeah,
and
it's great.
They have all authentic stuff.
And I'm going to say something I didn't think I would say. Yeah. Having a beer in lederhosen is better. It's just better.
Yeah. And then Uberkeller, they are like tapas style, so you can go up there, beautiful bar. They have, their beer garden outside, so you can get some tapas style German, sausages and
some of our BDMs. A guy I was talking to at the BDM party said that he goes up there with his wife, and they just get like 2 desserts. Like he'll get a big slice of cake, she'll get like some sort of strudel or something, and then they'll just drink beers and eat sweets. And I'm like, that's a GD great way to live your life, man.
German music playing downstairs. It's an experience when you go.
Is. Even if you just eat like little snacks and drink. I mean, you can go full, 6-course meal if you want to, or you can just have snacks and beers. It really is an amazing place.
For any celebration, you could rent out the Knights Hall for maybe your Christmas party. Like that would be unbelievable. Like a 3-4 course meal at the Knights Hall for everybody.
Chef Pat will hook it up for you.
It's Hollabox German Restaurant in downtown Sanford.
Welcome back to A Corporate Time.
We've got a special guest in studio. I've seen a lot of different BDMs. They see another guy with a similar name.
They get confused.
I think that's been popped up, or they've been popping up on people's algorithms because of this.
It absolutely has. You're right.
Because I've never, before this, I'd never seen that other person on my algorithm.
Inundated with Christian savings tips. I am inundated with them. Seriously, are you ready?
Yeah, let's do it.
Saving you money, one boat at a time. That's Ram Daisy. Buy a boat.
Ram Davesy's Financial Minute brought to you by Tots with Ross, the Orlando talk show with Ross McCoy.
You can go and listen to, if you're looking for more podcasts, you can go and support our good friend Ross.
How you doing, Ram?
Who are you going to take advice from, Tom? Some guy named Dave or a guy named Ram? What's a more powerful name? Just ask yourself that.
That is true.
Yeah. Dave is an ordinary name. Ram is unique and strong.
Yeah.
Let me ask you a question. Does Dave broadcast with a sword cane in his lap? I don't reckon so.
Oh, he upgraded. Yeah, it started as a regular cane. Now, you know what's funny is that this bit got infinitely funnier now that the guest carries a weapon.
That is a nice sword cane.
It's beautiful.
Ram. Mm-hmm. So I guess the sword cane, is that considered money?
It's got a golden eagle on top of it, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does.
I dare you to say it's not money, Tom. Go ahead. Why did you?
9 out of 10 things with a golden eagle on them are money.
Why don't you go ahead and say it's not and see how it goes?
So, Ram, where do you want to start today?
I wanted to, as always, Tom, we need to get back to basics with you. And you brought up the other guy. You brought up that other guy that tries to teach finances to people and fails miserably, in my opinion. But one of the things he often recommends to people, in addition to selling their car, great idea. Just sell your car, get a crappy car. That's his advice very often. He also recommends...
you're freaking me out because that's the one I got this morning. That is the one I got this morning, is that you should just buy a piece. This guy says that nobody cares what you drive. Have you seen that? At the end of it, he goes, nobody cares what you're driving around in. I've never heard something more foolish in my life.
9 out of 10 times, this other quote-unquote financial advisor, you will call up and give him your financial woes, and he will tell you, sell your car and buy a worse car. Great advice.
Yeah.
Great advice.
Yeah.
But another thing he recommends is eating rice and beans until you're back on your budget. You eat rice and beans. Eat rice and beans. Eat rice and beans. No. Wrong. That's the wrong way to think, Tom.
All right.
Rice and beans is poor food. You eat poor food, you stay poor.
All right.
What am I recommending to you, Tom? Eat steak every day.
Yeah,
Eat steak
every day.
All right.
Should I have made that? Because I like that. I'm going to make that for you.
So,
Eat steak. Hold on. I can do better. Eat steak every day.
Now, Ram, I don't want...
I used to sell weed to Nate Dogg.
Yeah. Oh, man. Steak. I want a steak so bad right now.
I don't want to be a contrarian here, Ram, but
What's that, a type of steak? I can't tell you. What cut is that? What cut is that, man?
I'm just going to ask the question that maybe a lot of our audience would ask, which, what if I can't afford steak every day?
I'm glad you asked that.
Like, isn't that... And if I can't afford it...
I was thinking
then
that.
I would spend all my money, and that would make me poor.
No, I understand. It's a simple fix. You just need to make enough money to buy a steak every day.
Okay, all right.
Yes, I knew there was an answer.
Maybe this comes from your misconceptions about budgeting, Tom. Do you have a budget? Do you budget? A budget, I'll put it to you in simple terms, a budget is a plan to spend all your money.
All right.
That's what I tell Andrea. My God, you're speaking my language today. It's like you crawled in my head.
If you have any money left over at the end of the day, you're not doing things right.
That's what I tell Andrea.
Well, it's like a company. They have to, if there's money left over, they have to spend it, or they're not going to get it next year.
I mean, honestly, this is what I tell my wife, because I'm like, Maisie's fine. She's got to make her own money. We don't need to save anything for her. She's already got a job. Mondays are her job. She works at the dance studio.
There's a financial documentary I'm going to recommend to you to walk you through a lot of basics of this. It's called Brewster's Millions, and it's very simple.
Oh, I have that.
Financial plan that you can follow. And steak is going to help you. Eat steak every single day, grilled if possible. If you can't grill your steak, you can fry it. That's fine.
Okay.
But you
prefer a grilled?
Yeah. If you're not burning wood to cook your meat, you're failing at life.
What about do sides matter, or is that just a distraction?
I mean, you can have another steak if you want.
Okay.
Steak for the main
steak with a side of steak.
Okay, all right. So steak every day
with a side of steak.
Now, are you worried about health issues? Cholesterol?
In terms of
I mean, you do walk with a cane. I'd like to point that out.
Yeah. Although I see these influencers, these rich white dudes, they're like, I eat steak every day, and I'm rich and ripped.
That's Dr. Steak. Rich, ripped, and rare.
Yeah.
Have you seen that? Rich, ripped, and rare.
Yeah. And so
that's Wes Watson. He's a nut.
And then he says he could eat steak every day and just be ripped and rich.
Oh, do you eat the steak and you take your steroid injections to clear you out, and you're good to go? You're good to go.
Yeah.
And then that's some millionaire advice for you, Tom. You're probably not ready for it, but I'm going to upgrade you to billionaire, give you some billionaire advice. If steak is good, if eating a nice grass-fed mammal is good, what's even better than steak? Eating an apex predator.
Okay.
When you get to the point, Tom, when you can order you a tiger steak at night and have that
tiger
for dinner,
steak.
Now we're talking.
Where's that cut from?
So again,
a tiger, Dan.
No. I mean, what part of would you want to eat his legs?
His ass.
You'd eat the tiger's ass, right? His anus.
No. It was his cheeks, though.
I don't want to eat the cheeks. Too muscly.
The rump.
I've heard anything that's too muscly, you got to drain it and get all the. It gets bitter.
Now
you want to get for that. You want to get it from. You want to find a tiger with a real loose anus and get just a slice of that.
A lot of people will waste that tail. It makes a good chili, in my experience.
Okay,
so,
that's fair.
Ram,
the marbling.
Again, I'm just going to say what some listeners might say. I don't necessarily think
they're on board. A lot of the chat rooms are on board. In fact, this is a little weird, and I'm going to point this out. It's weird when our listeners are like, "Well, this is very early on in the Ram tape series." They're already months ahead of us in your teaching, so these are some very basic stuff.
But let's let Tom present the side of idiocy.
Okay, so what about the people who would say that Ram that first of all is illegal in most countries, and especially
to eat a tiger steak? That's not true.
Yeah, the United States, endangered.
We're Americans. We can do anything we want.
Animal meat is illegal.
That's not true.
It is.
You can eat anything you want.
No, not endangered animal. You can't eat a bald eagle. You can't eat,
no, you can't
tiger, elephant.
You mayn't. You can.
So, and
hold on. You bring up a good question, Tom. Let me do a little quick research. How many people incarcerated in America for eating tiger meat? It's one guy, Joe Exotic. If you're not him, don't worry about it. That's my advice to you.
That's what I'm saying.
I guess you're right.
I think you can do this, and it's fine.
Yeah, I guess you're right. There's not too many people in jail for messing with tigers.
I just looked it up. It's one guy. Yeah.
Also, everything you tell me I can't do, people around me are doing everything, and they're fine. They're doing everything.
So steak every day, preferably
tiger
exotic.
An apex predator, if possible.
Apex predator. All right.
What's the lowest apex we can go? Because I do feel like tigers, really, that's going to be hard.
I like a good Wolverine roast. I will.
All right, a Wolverine. I think I would enjoy a Wolverine roast as well.
And you can make little knives out of his claws. It's a
I
good
like
time.
that.
Mhm.
I like that.
Have you? I've never met anybody who's eaten Wolverine before, but it
No.
sounds awesome.
It does sound awesome.
Like it sounds like
Like
a cool thing to eat, right?
Yeah, it does. But it also
Like-
sounds like you got to hang it up and drain it before you eat it.
yeah. Like,
Any of those animals, you got to cut them, and they're like, "What happened?" It's like, we can't eat it now. What happened? I nicked its poison sack. I nicked its sack, and it's all the meat's rancid now. What happened? It's all poisoned now. We gotta rinse it in the creek.
like right before it dies, it releases its poison into every inch of its muscles
in order to kill you after the fact. I was like, that's pretty awesome.
I would like to make a Mystique joke at this point, but it's not in character. So
Okay, that's fair. You can come and go as you please, sir.
All right. So, what's the next piece of advice? Ryan?
So, Tom, all of this, what are we talking about at the end of the day? We're talking about money.
Money.
Okay,
And getting money and acquiring money and spending money. And so a lot of you just, I don't know how to put this. Can't come up with your own ways to make money. So Ram's just going to lay it out for you. All right. I'm going to help you out how to make money. Get your own gold pile to sleep on. Get your own tiger steak at night. Get your own boat full of Michael Jackson's gold to ride around in. Like,
That's the one out of the three that sounds the most sinister. And it's really because of Michael. It's not you, it's Michael.
Well, I can't.
I know.
These atoms of gold were made in the hearts of exploding stars, and they ended up in the possession of a man who owned a theme park.
And I know it's not anybody's fault, but if Tom was like, I just bought Michael Jackson's nightstand, I'm like, that thing's seen some stuff.
So we don't have much time left, Tom. I'm going to just break it down for you real quick. How to make money, how to get rich, how to afford this Ram Davesy lifestyle. Gamble and don't lose.
No, all right.
Yes.
Okay, all right. So
It's so simple. It's been
easy.
in front of our face the entire time.
People are like, I tried gambling, but I lost all my money. Okay. Well, the mistake you made was when you lost.
So, okay, all right. So,
Boom, write that down.
So what you're saying is,
I would like
they
everybody
need to win.
write that down, and let's throw a little highlighter on top of that, okay?
Yeah. So what you're saying is,
Investing, it takes too long. Saving, what are you going to spend it when you're dead? No. Gambling is the only way to make quick money right away, and the only way to make sure you make money at gambling is to not lose. It's so simple.
So what you're saying is, when you see that Derek Carr's coming back against the Carolina Panthers, who just traded away their best wide receiver, and that tells me that they're going to be tanking the rest of the year because they're done with Bryce Young and they want to draft another quarterback, that you should bet 10 times what you normally would on the Saints because there's no way that's going to lose.
Sure.
And then you lose. You're saying don't do that. You're saying bet on the Panthers that looks like the worst bet in the entire world, but that's a winning bet.
Absolutely should have done the opposite because you would have won.
Yeah.
Does that make sense to you, Tom?
Have you ever done the opposite?
There was a while where I was like, whoever you want.
It was working, wasn't it? And it was driving you crazy.
Yeah, I was George Costanza. I was like, whoever you guaranteed you're going to win, bet the opposite. George Costanza. I'm like, that should be because every time I'm for sure, I lose.
You didn't text me that you were loading up the Saints, huh? Loading them up?
Every time everybody's like, oh, this team, what are they? I mean, Carr.
No, I understand. It makes sense. No, I get what you're saying. It makes sense.
But you don't understand, Tom. The Heisenberg uncertainty principle applies to your gambling. The decision isn't made until you decide the decision.
Okay, all right, yeah. So it's not going to work.
If you pick all losers, for example, the loser won't even be determined until you make your pick. Does that make sense, Tom?
It does.
It does make sense.
If you do a double slit study, the pick always goes through the right hand hole unless you observe the left hand hole. It makes perfect sense.
Because
I got a little physics there on you, and it might be too much for you.
No, I'm with it.
I've done this before where I am like, okay, bet the opposite of what I want to bet because that's what's going to win.
Sure.
And then I go to bet the opposite. I'm like, that's what myself wants me to think.
Oh, so you do the double opposite. You do the double opposite, which becomes a positive. Yeah.
And then I'm like,
It does a double opposite positive.
And then I'm like, I'm going back to the original because I was about to hit enter.
I was about to do the opposite of what I normally would do, which would be the correct one. But that's what myself wants me to do. Do you say that's what myself wants me to do?
Yeah. And then I'm like, I
Do you say it audible, though? Do you say,
I say
that's
it out
what
loud.
myself wants me to do?
And then Crystal's like, who are you talking to?
And you're like, no one. And then you...
She's like, spend time with your family.
He's on the pool shed talking to himself.
That implies the existence of at least 3 Toms inside your head. There's the myself,
how many Toms are
there's
there?
the me who's trying to trick him, and then there's the observer.
Hold on, I'm unlocking a memory ramp. Didn't Roseanne Barr have multiple personalities?
At one point,
crazy
yes,
as
she
hell.
did,
At one point she did?
I believe she even wrote a book to that effect.
Oh,
yes.
really? I got to go find that, reread that.
I introduced her to Tom Arnold.
Did you really? You did? Wow, man. You're like the Forrest Gump. You're just going through time, making things. Hold on. This is awesome. Ram Daisy just goes through time, connecting different luminaries of the time together.
I
love
when
it.
you're in the stratosphere like me.
Can I request that you weave that in a bit more?
Certainly.
Yeah.
Certainly.
Not that I want to make it more stressful than it already is.
Well, just a recap before you leave, Ram. Eat steak every day, preferably a rare, exotic, predatory animal steak like a tiger.
It doesn't have to be rare, Tom. It does. The rare ones do taste better, but it doesn't have to be rare.
Okay.
And the number one way to make that money is to gamble
And not lose. Remember,
win every time.
When you gamble, don't lose.
That's a pretty good advice.
You're welcome.
There you go.
Ram, thanks so much for coming in.
Man,
We appreciate
always
it.
a pleasure seeing you, buddy. Is there anything you'd like to plug before you get out of here?
No, I'm pretty rich right now. I'm good.
I love that. The ones that have nothing to plug are the best guests. Well, thank you so much, Ram. We appreciate your time.
All right, we will be back with more Corporate Time with Tom and Dan. Welcome back to Corporate Time.
On the line with us right now, this is huge, and we only have him for a split second. So let's get out where he's going to be, because I want you guys to scoop up these tickets. At the Walt Disney Theater at the beautiful Dr. Phillips here in Orlando on the 7th, you can see Daryl Hall. And on the line with us right now is Daryl Hall. How you doing, man?
I am very good, very good. Get ready to come to Orlando.
Hey, we appreciate you giving us a little bit of time. And Tom, I know you had some questions for Daryl right off the top here. I mean, have you been to Orlando before? Have you been to the Dr. Phillips?
Not to the Dr. Phillips, but I've been to Orlando many, many times. Yes, the answer is yes.
Well, Daryl, first let's talk about your solo album, D. I know you recorded it in the Bahamas, and it's funny because right before we talked to you, we were looking at the studio, because in my mind, when you said it was recorded in the studio in Bahamas, I imagine like you looked out at turquoise water.
Yeah.
This kind of just a regular recording studio in the Bahamas.
Yeah, what's it like recording there and breaking it up over 18 months?
Well, it's great to record there. I have a house there, so it's effortless for me to do. And I'm working with one of my close friends, one of my best friends, Dave Stewart, and we just had a good time. You know, we just started doing it and we're making literally what I always say is we made something out of nothing. You know, I had a couple of songs, but most of these songs we wrote together on the spot, and we played almost all the instruments ourselves. And it was great. And like you say, looking out at the turquoise water. So,
well,
what's bad about that?
It's crazy too that you guys went and over time you would go and do sessions and kind of knock it out. Is it easier to do a record like that where you can really sit down with your friend and get some good time in than it was like maybe earlier in your career when you were having the pressure of people saying you needed a record out immediately?
It's a completely different situation. It couldn't be more different. In the 80s, I'd be sitting in these studios in New York City in these dark boxes, and I wouldn't even know whether it was day or night. And there was, as you said, there was always a pressure. You got to, the record company wants you to put this record out, and we need a new record, blah blah blah. And I went through that period of time for a long time, and this is a whole different world. I'm just doing it on my own time, in my own pace, and I think the results are superior, if you want the truth.
Yeah, the record's fantastic. Yes, Tom.
So, Daryl, this is a completely random question, but are you familiar with the Netflix documentary, The Greatest Night in Pop?
Well, I know about it, yeah. Sure, of course.
Because we were talking about it because it was the recording of We Are the World in 1985, and you were there. And I'm just curious if you remember like any details about the night? I know it was a while ago, but what was your recollection of that event?
Well, I mean, it was. I've told this story a number of times, but I'll tell you again. It was a very unusual. I've never really experienced anything close to it. Because it was this gathering of people who were all at the top of their game. Basically superstars. All these people, and at the before we went into the studio, Quincy, God bless him, God rest his soul, he said nobody allowed in but the artist. And that was the first we all heard about it, so we all filed in and kind of looking at each other. And a lot of people didn't know each other, but they knew everybody knew who everybody was, and nobody knew what to do because people were used to having their assistants around and their entourage and all that kind of thing. And so everybody kind of reverted to junior high, man. It was like 8th grade or something. Everybody, and Quincy became the choir director, the chorus director. And everybody stood there, and it was on the bleachers or whatever, the risers, and people were talking and making jokes, and it was all very like high school kind of a thing, and it was very, very. That's as good as I can describe it.
That's crazy. I mean,
it's so bizarre because in '85, pre-internet, pre-social media, like TMZ, so it's like this could never happen again with that amount of gigantic worldwide superstars all together in one place. Like it will never happen again.
Yeah, I mean, speaking of history, Daryl, when you start Daryl's House, live from Daryl's House, when you start doing this in like 2007, and it's a web series at this point, and then I started seeing it on Palladia, the television channel that is no longer. When we started seeing these sort of things, did you know it was going to go 17 years down the tracks and be like a music entity that people like crave and love?
Well, I never know what's going to happen. That's one of the things about what it is that I do. You never know you don't know when something's going to be a hit. You don't know when something's going to be a flop. You don't know if something's going to last forever or stop immediately. It's all in the air, man. So all I knew is that I really wanted to do it. It was completely my idea, and I knew that I was up to it. It's something that I'm really good at is interacting with and collaborating with people and working within a lot of genres. And so I decided that it's a strength that I have. So I said, let's go for it, and it was what surprised me about it was how many people immediately said they wanted to do the show. People that I would never have expected would want to come to upstate New York into my house and sit there for all day and play songs without an audience.
But it
was amazing.
It's totally incredible. I mean, the episode with Chromeo, which they're not the most well-known band, but combine them with you, and I think I've probably seen that episode over 1,000 times, and I thank you for that, and the fact that you continue to do it, and go find the one with Howard Jones. That's the last one. He's on tour right now, and you can scoop up these tickets and see them. St. Augustine Amphitheater on the 14th, November 11th, you got the Baycare Sound in Clearwater, November 9th at the Hard Rock Live Hollywood, and November 7th, again, here in town at the Walt Disney Theater at Dr. Phillips. One more question, Tom.
Daryl, last question. Do you have song ideas pop into your head throughout the day, and I imagine you jump on your iPhone or your smartphone and then write them down, or do you specifically sit down to write and that's your process? I'm just curious of your writing process.
I have ideas that come to me all the time, every day, as you say. But I generally don't write. I used to write, on the spot. I complete songs and all that. But now I tend to just hold the ideas and wait for somebody like Dave to get together with him and say, I got all these ideas. Here's a song. Here's a phrase. Here's a title. Here's a this. Here's a that, and let it all come out in one situation. one controlled and contained situation.
Yeah, and one more final thing, because I know we got to get you out of here, but is there a type of music that you think needs a little more shine that you like? Is there a genre that you feel like needs some love? Because I'm a music lover, and you just said it yourself. You work in so many different genres. Is there something that you're listening to now that everybody should give a little more love to?
I don't know, man. I don't really listen a lot, to tell you the truth. I'm not a great audience. I have all this music in my head constantly. But I mean, you know, I'm a soul. At my heart, I'm a soul person from the day, back in the day. I grew up with that music. I like harmonies. I like grooves. I like funk. I like all that kind of thing. And if you want to listen to anything that I like, that's what you listen to.
I love it. Hey, Daryl, thank you so much for the time. Enjoy Orlando, and we hope that you and Howard have nothing but the best on your tour.
Well, thank you so much.
All right, man. Take care. That is Daryl Hall, live from the road somewhere. I don't know what to say about that. I was very nervous. My nose started sweating.
A gigantic musician. It's
Yeah, and when you're doing the junket and you try to be respectful to it, and I hate that because when I was younger, I used to be like, nah, we'll push it until they force him off.
That's what I want to do.
Yeah, I know, and I feel so
Every
bad.
time I'm like, I look at the time, I'm like, I'm going to ask a long-ass question. Billy will be freaking out. His publicist that we just promised will keep it short. He'll freak out.
That's the thing is that
Daryl doesn't care because he's just going back to back.
And he shouldn't care. Like, if you're on the phone, you shouldn't care. Let the other people worry about that.
I'm going to ask him a long question until the publicist pops in and starts beeping the phone.
I'm going to wait until the very last second. I'm going to say, Oates says what? Oates says what? Don't give me an Oates says what. You get into trouble. How much trouble would I have got in trouble with Billy if I did an Oates says what?
Well, you said trouble. I mean, what are you get an email? I get lots of emails.
No, it shuts down what we get the next time. Because a lot of these publicists have...
They're like, just don't do it again. We're like, okay.
No, that stuff, I really believe in that stuff. Shohei Ohtani, like I'll give you a little story. So there was a Japanese news station, I guess, this is crazy, published like where he's living in his house. And World Series, they win, and dude walks over to get an interview, and Shohei sees him and recognizes him. He's like, nah. You're done, dog. No interview for you. Yeah, he's like, you're blacklisted.
I'm surprised he knew.
I'm Big Shohei.
Like, the fact that he knew.
He knows everything. Very private people. Very private people. He knew everything.
Because if anybody walks up to me, I'll be like, I don't know. I'm just talking to you.
Who are you? You will get in the limo. They drive you to your death.
You're from alt-right state? Oh, God.
Oh, my God.
Anyway.
Proud Boy Illustrated. Can we get a comment? It says what?
We will see you tomorrow. Welcome back to A Corporate Time. With us on the line, singer-songwriter legend. He's going to be performing with Daryl Hall at Dr. Phillips, the Disney Theater in Dr. Phillips, November 7th.
The greatest venue that we have here in town, and you're going to get to see some pretty amazing musicians roll through in this amazing Walt Disney studio. And like Tom said, November 4th, you can see him. On the line with us right now via Zoom is Howard Jones. What's going on, Howard? How are you?
Yeah, I'm very well, thank you. I'm very good.
Have you been to Florida many times? And congrats on being at the Dr. Phillips Center. It is an amazing venue.
Yeah, I've been to Florida many times. So done loads of shows there. My own shows. So, I'm really looking forward to coming back and having some nice weather.
Yeah. It's quite beautiful right now, and you're gonna really enjoy it.
Howard, I got a question for you. You've been performing and writing music for so long, 40 years, and I'm curious too, how often are you out in public and you hear your own music, like playing in like some place where you're like, oh, it's me?
It's funny. It's funny you should say that because it usually happens to me when I'm in supermarkets in the States. And the last time I was there, I think it was Whole Foods or something, and suddenly a new song came on, and a lady was pushing her trolley around, doing her shopping, and she started singing the song along with it, and I was like right behind her, and I thought, how should I react to this? Should I say, hey, that's me, that's me? I mean, that would be really creepy, I think. And of course, if you did say that, they just laugh at you and say, oh yeah, of course.
Well, I mean, it's also,
it would blow our mind.
It would blow our mind. And, I was checking out some of the new stuff that you've done. And then I went and I was deep diving on the Daryl's House stuff that you did and released. Yeah. And how do you keep your voice, being a pioneer in synth pop and doing this for as long as you have, how do you maintain your voice and keep it? You sound great. So I guess as a lifelong, I'm a musician myself, podcaster and radio guy. How do you maintain it and keep it up?
Well, I mean, it's a question of singing every day, really. And I have a really amazing vocal coach who's an opera singer and a really good friend. And he's given me the most amazing exercises to do. So when I'm on the road, before I go on stage, I will do these exercises, and then when I'm at home, I try and sing every day. And my latest thing is on my exercise bike, I sing along with the set that I'm just about to perform.
Nice.
So that because it gets your cardio up as well. So yeah, I mean as you get a bit older, you need to do these things. And when I was young, I never used to bother with any of that at all. But now, I really want to keep my voice in good shape and also, be fit. Yeah.
Well, you sound great, man. I mean, there's no question of that. It was really cool to see you perform, with the Daryl's House stuff too. Have you guys always known each other throughout the years? And congrats on the tour, but how did that kind of come together?
Yeah. Well, it's weird because you'd think because we were, having success at MTV and stuff, around the same time, that we would have met at some point. But we were saying that we hadn't ever done that. And
no way.
It's been great to get to know Daryl. Actually, doing Daryl's House was such a blast. It was such good fun doing it, and also singing some of his songs as well, which I really enjoyed because it's very different stylistically to me. And then I've just come back from rehearsing with the band and Daryl, and had a really great time again. So he's lending me his band for this tour, which is really, really cool. Yeah.
Howard, I'm curious. I read somewhere that you've messed around and done some stuff with AI. And on this show, we've been, kind of messing around with AI ever since it started becoming more and more popular.
Well, I really wanted his opinion as a pioneer of synth pop. And, nobody was doing beeps and boops more than this guy.
Yeah.
So I want to know your opinion of, AI now because, you have seen almost every incarnation of electronic music and done it at the highest level. So is it exciting to you, or are you caution, or do you have a caution kind of a vibe?
I think it's a two-edged sword, really. I was thinking, well, if I lost my voice for some reason, or I don't know, you never know what's going to happen. That I could have a kind of an AI version of my voice, so I could actually keep making records and it sounding reasonably like myself. And then there's the other side of it, which is people kind of, ripping off artists and taking their voice and their sound. So, but it's the same, isn't it, with any new technology? Some people are going to use it in a really creative way, and it will make amazing new sounds for us all, and we'll be very excited about it. At the same time, there'll be people who will be not quite so ethical about their use of it. Right. So we just have to make sure that, it's hard enough, now for young artists to get going as it is, let alone having to compete with AI singers and stuff like that. So I just think we've got to be cautious, but also, don't throw out the baby with the bathwater.
Yeah, for sure. Ross, question for Howard Jones.
Howard, let me ask you, you have songs that you wrote decades ago and that you've been performing for decades now. Have they all stayed exactly the same, or have they changed at all? And the reason I ask you this is I just saw Jewel live recently, and she wrote, for example, Who Will Save Your Soul, I guess in 1994, and she's been playing it every day since, but she never went back and listened to that first version, and she's just been playing it how she wants to every day, and now it's a totally different song, and it's kind of amazing.
Yeah, well, I think about that a lot. One of my things has been playing the songs that people know, and but at the same time, giving them a bit of a facelift, if you know what I mean, to make it a bit more. If I was going to make that record today, this is what it would sound more like this. At the same time, not losing all the essential bits and the essential hooks that everyone knows and loves. And so that's been my thing. I mean, somebody saw the shows we did, a couple of months ago, and they said that, that I'd managed to bring those songs into today's musical environment, if you know what I mean.
Sure.
And I'm really quite, sometimes we do remixes, sometimes we do, totally different versions of the songs. And I think it's important to do it a bit because, having played those songs thousands of times, it's got to be exciting for you as well.
Yeah.
To play them. I mean, they're all in the same key. I haven't dropped the keys. And what's interesting with the Daryl tour, obviously I'm playing with a completely live band with horns and percussion and so the songs are really coming out sounding quite different, but which is what I love.
Yeah.
Because it's very exciting for me, and I hope my audience is kind of used to me. Messing around with the classic songs. So I don't think they're going to be put off by it.
Yeah,
but I think it's important to keep moving forward with your work, and not just become a kind of museum piece.
Sure.
Of another era.
Well said.
Howard, I'm curious to one of your songs, "Things Can Only Get Better," was on Stranger Things. And when obviously they license that from you and you find out that they're going to air that, once it airs, and Stranger Things is such a gigantic global show.
I don't even know if we understand how big it is.
What does that, like, do you see the ramifications of that immediately? Does it all of a sudden you're
Does
like, whoa?
the song start charting
what
again,
happens after that happens?
Yeah, no, I definitely saw like the Kate Bush effect happen to Things Can Only Get Better.
Sure.
I mean, they used the whole song in it, which is amazing, and I was particularly keen to say yes to that because I love the show myself, and I can't wait for the next series. So with that it was absolutely no brainer, and I saw my streaming figures really just go through the roof on that song. So it was getting to a whole new audience. That's the exciting thing for people like myself.
Yeah, and I think it's cool too because you look cool, and I think people will look at you, and I got to pay you a compliment. It's like when you look at Howard Jones now, you still look kind of like a cool rock musician instead of as most rock musicians, they age. I think sometimes they take on their normal persona, and you still look cool. You still have leather jackets, and you look like punk rock meets what I mean? And I think that's important because I think that some of that stuff can be missed on people if they're not ready for it. And I feel like you're I don't know. I thought it was super cool that Billy was able to give us the opportunity to even chat with you today, because it's crazy that you're still doing it at the highest level and coming to our town. That's amazing. Is there any song you won't play anymore? You're just I can't do it anymore.
No, there isn't. In fact, I think I've got a catalogue now of about 250 songs, and I'm, I keep, reflecting on some of them, and some of them, and it just depends on the like with the Daryl show, I'm doing a few songs that I don't ever do with my normal band and my electronic band. Things like I did a cover of IGY by Donald Fagen, who's one of my favourite artists, and so we're doing that with the band. And there's also a song called "Lift Me Up," which I never do, and also. The version of "No One Is to Blame" is like the record with Daryl's band, which I normally will just play it acoustically or do it with a few keyboards or something. But it's it's a chance to do things different, and so it's good.
That's
fun.
awesome. No one's to blame. That's how I was introduced to you through my band. They asked me to sing that cover, and that was the first.
Oh, really?
That was the first song I
great.
ever sang, and then I was like, man, this is amazing. And then from that point, everything else kind of came together. Hey, we appreciate your time, and we're really glad you're coming to Dr. Phillips to play. One last question, Tom.
Well,
Can I ask him?
Yeah.
I've never asked this of like a professional musician. This is like an argument me and my dumb friends have. We argue over like the song that when it comes on that you like, it makes you the happiest right off the bat. And my friend Mickey makes a strong case for Katrina and the Waves, Walking on Sunshine.
Yeah, great
and
song,
I'm a Bill Withers Lovely Day guy. Like when that's like that song, it starts.
Yeah.
I'm just like, oh my God, it is going to be a lovely day because I heard this song. Do you have a song like that, or like what's the happiest song on earth to you, Howard?
Oh, wow, what a great question that is. There's
You know what? I'm happy with just that answer. I'll take that.
I have one. I got mine.
Okay, hold on. It's kind of a generic. What's your favorite song?
Oh, is it? Well, yes, if he's had a gig that went wrong, Tom, or if he's hurt his neck or something. You do it, Mr. Great Interviewer.
What's your favorite? What song makes you the happiest? Kind of a generic question.
I'm being interview critiqued by Tom Van. I'm sorry that you had to listen to that, Howard.
I think anything by Stevie Wonder. You know, like Signed, Sealed, Delivered.
Okay.
The way that starts.
Oh.
Yeah. That's such a good track. Anything off Intervisions?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, as we've already talked about it, but things can only get better. That's the song. I know it's one of my songs.
I love that answer. I love that answer.
But from the fans' point of view, that's the song. I've heard people that they put that song on first thing every morning just to give them a boost for the day
and set the right tone.
And that's always what I've tried to do. Like to Get to Know You Well was it's about raising people's spirits and giving them a good feeling. So to get through the difficult times, because everyone has to go through stuff, and music can really, really help with that.
Did you write that? Did you? Was that written with the idea that it would be performed with horns or everything synthetic? Like, how was that? How did you even come up with that?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I mean, I played the French horn when I was at school.
Nice.
I played piano since I was 7, but that was the one brass. I'm not even sure they can consider the French horn as a brass instrument. But so I've always had a connection with those kind of instruments. So
I love it.
And of course, I could do it with samples in the studio. But we did get a live section in for that as well.
It's so iconic, though. Like you hear that, and everybody goes, "Oh, I know exactly what time period." Or it's awesome, man. Hey, Howard, one last question from Tom here.
Sure.
It better be a good one.
Howard, I'm curious to because this happens when someone's involved in something that is historic, but at the time you don't know is going to be historic. So then you don't get any memorabilia or any because you're just like, oh, this is.
Yeah. Well, he's just living his life at the time.
Like for instance, you were at Live Aid, which is like an historic music event that everybody knows of.
Never happen again.
I'm curious and we talked about Stevie Wonder. You perform with Stevie Wonder, like you had these experiences, and I'm curious if you ever thought back then to take a piece of memorabilia to have for the future, or if it's just like, oh, I was there, never really have nothing to no memorabilia from it.
That's a really good question because, I mean, at the time we didn't have smartphones, so now if I meet somebody, I make sure I get a selfie with them and document the event because there's so many I can keep for my own But I mean, what happened at Live Aid was amazing because I met Paul McCartney and Linda McCartney, and Linda took a picture of me and Paul together. So and she actually sent it to us. That's an absolute treasured possession of mine. And also, I mean, they were so kind. Jan, my wife, was pregnant at the time, and they sent a present for our firstborn. Which was like really incredible. So I didn't actually think about, taking a brochure or anything like that. But I just, I've got that wonderful picture and all those incredible memories.
And you are kind of the favorite baby if you're you're the baby that got sent something by Paul McCartney, right?
Exactly.
Like if I'm the baby that had my bassinet came from Paul McCartney, then I'm King Baby, and all the other
That's
kids.
awesome.
Yeah,
Right.
Howard, thank you so much for your
Incredible.
time, man. We appreciate it. We can't wait for you to be here in our city.
Again, Dr. Phillips, November 7th. Get your tickets now on the Dr. Phillips website. And Howard Jones and Daryl Hall is going to be there. Thank you so much, Howard.
Yeah, and if you're ever get the chance to call in or be on the show again, we'd love to have you. Take care.
Well, thank you very much for having me, and it's been great talking with you. Great questions. Thank you.
Oh, thank you so much. We pride ourselves on our excellent questions.
Hold on, real quick. Which was better?
Which was better?
What, my memorabilia question or Ross's favorite song?
Yeah, you have to
Howard,
pick.
did you ever
have
take
to
any
pick.
junk with you or like discuss music to the perfection?
They're going to argue all day unless you pick one.
It's so hard to decide. They're all so good.
Oh, no, yeah, that's a great answer. That's a great answer. All right, man. We won't waste your time anymore. Be good. See ya. That is Howard Jones, live from what it sounds. I pictured him in his study, like sitting there, and he has like some corgis walking around and stuff. Because I stereotype everybody when I'm just like listening to them.
Hey, Howard, you still need Kleenex from Stevie Wonder?
All right. I see what you're saying there. I see what you're saying.
It is true, like because you remember there's a Netflix documentary about the I think what is it called, like the greatest grouping or come together of the most famous musicians of all time.
That's probably what it's called.
I don't know anything of what you're saying. Like, not to be on Ross's side, but what you're describing makes no sense.
In the 80s, they did "We Are the
Are you
World."
on acid right now? What are you talking about?
They did
There's a documentary about like super bands or something?
No, there's a documentary about remember.
You know what
the-
you just basically said to me? You were like,
All right.
basically, there's a documentary on Netflix that's got everybody in it doing everything. That's what it sounded like he was
For
saying.
me, it sounded like there's a documentary on Netflix. Do you smell toast?
I think they did it the late 80s or 90s. The "We Are the World." Remember with like Michael
I do
Jackson,
remember
Hulk Hogan's there.
no, he wasn't.
I think there's like
I don't think Hulk Hogan
there's
was
like 150 of the most famous
Wait, We Are the World.
musicians of
Hold
all
on.
time.
Hulk Hogan was at We Are the World?
Look
No,
up
he was
"We
not.
Are the World" Netflix documentary.
Chris Christopherson was there. He left because they wanted him to sing Ethiopian or something. Yeah.
There is
I ain't singing no Ethiopian.
they're like Janet Jackson there. Young
Young Thug was there. young
There's that Milli
Thug.
Vanilli. They can't even sing there.
Billy Manilli was there. Young Thug was
I
there.
think Joe Pesci was there.
Yeah.
No, you're trying to
There was
to
like
get
A-list celebrities
Joe
there.
Pesci and Hulk Hogan were at We Are the World.
Look up "We Are the World" Netflix
The
documentary.
greatest night in pop.
Yes, that's it.
That was.
Oh, I gotta watch
You know
this.
what? You did basically say that in 85 words.
So anyway, my point
I don't
being,
see one picture of Hulk Hogan.
there were some like randos. Anyway, my point being is that if you were there, like as let's say
He was there.
a lower
Howard
list.
Jones was there.
Was he there?
No, Howard Jones had. I know he did a lot of this. Dude, he was such a big star, but he also had the greatest career you can have is the big star that like has. He could just put on like a hat and he's fine.
No, no, you'd never recognize him.
But his songs were huge, like mega hits.
Yeah.
I think in the first year of him being a star, I think from 84 to 85, he had 4 number ones in England. So he was already like a mega big deal.
It's just like you don't realize like certain events are going to be iconic in the future.
Yeah.
And you should take like something or have some piece of memorabilia from that event just in case it becomes iconic, right? As like an insurance policy because
But doesn't that kind of like, okay, there is a cheesiness to it.
Just
It'd be
throw
like-
it in your
there is a
spare
cheesiness
bedroom.
to it, right? Like me and you, we do like, let's say our biggest event, which to me, I'm saying was our 9-year anniversary party. If I had taken like, let's say the set list from the band that played and took that and framed it, there is a weird cheesiness to predicting it will be your greatest.
but you don't show anybody until it becomes a legend, and then you could always throw it away. But you should always take it as an insurance policy because if like Howard Jones had some sort of like imagine.
All right, we have a huge controversy right now.
What?
Because I just asked ChatGPT.
Better question?
I asked Better Pizza. I asked ChatGPT, was Hulk Hogan at We Are the World? Because you're bothering me. The first answer is no, Hulk Hogan did not participate in the recording of We Are the World. The song was recorded in 1985 by an ensemble of famous musicians. Then the second response is yes, Hulk Hogan Hogan was at the recording of We Are the World. He was among several celebrities who were invited to participate in the chorus.
Right.
So which is it?
So
ChatGPT.
They have a list of the singers in order, but there also was like a big bullpen of like Hulk Hogan and not Joe Pesci, but Joe Piscopo is who I'm thinking of.
Joe
Piscopo.
Yeah, Joe Piscopo.
He was there in
who
like
was on
fingerless
Saturday Night
gloves.
Live. He was on Saturday Night Live at the time because he was considered a comedian.
Yes.
Much like EJ is too.
If you asked me to pick out Joe Piscopo from a lineup, I couldn't do it.
Yeah, you could.
Yeah.
Yeah, you
All
could.
right.
I guarantee you, if I gave you 3 guys, you'll be like, that's Piscopo.
I don't even know what Piscopo was in.
It's a great word to say, though, Piscopo.
Or who he even was.
He was a comedian on Saturday Night Live, and I never found him funny. I never understood why he was there. He was kind of like a jockey douche guy.
He was like a
street
budget Andrew Dice Clay. I think he also wore like fingerless gloves, and he kind of like had I got a personality to me, but like he never was like funny.
Okay. So
Kind of like Skippy the Intern.
He did like an Andrew Dice Clay type of bit.
Light. Yeah. Yeah. And he was kind of famous for being jacked. He was like, for whatever reason, kind of jacked.
What if Hulk Hogan strikes me as the type of person who wasn't invited to We Are the World, but would stand outside the studio and be like, hey, brother, let me in there to get some hot publicity. Right?
Well, in 85.
Right?
Well, actually, he was gigantic in 85,
Yeah,
right?
he would have been huge.
Yeah. So, but that's why they made the documentary about it, because, you couldn't get this many A-list singers and celebrities in one room.
Serious
to do anything.
question. Michael Jackson, when he was wearing aviators, Captain Crunch jacket. When he poops, you leave on the glasses and the jacket?
I don't think he poops. I think there's so much medicine.
Okay, all right.
I think
I knew I'd get the truth. I
think that
I
there's
agree
some
with
sort
you.
of medical.
That's the correct answer.
I don't
Michael
think
Jackson never pooped when he was wearing the Captain Crunch and the aviators.
he didn't eat that many calories.
No, because it was garbage in, garbage out, but nothing was going in.
He just achieved perfect stasis.
Yeah,
Like,
he was just
just
running
enough
off
calories to moonwalk.
like his whole body was like a helium balloon.
Yeah. He may have had some sort of sack. You know what I'm saying?
Poop sack.
He had a lot of
Where do you put
weird
that? You put that
medical-
under your shoulder pads. You
Yeah.
put that under one of those things. You put those under your.
Oh, maybe that's what the codpiece was.
Could have been a poop
sack. Poop sack codpiece.
Don't put it in the front. Don't put it in the front. Because if somebody else kabongs you there, it's going to be a mess.
Who was involved in We Are the World?
All right, I got the
Okay.
list of singers in order of appearance, I guess. And I'm going to go fast.
Can I just real quick before you go on, I'd like to give you both a compliment for your great question.
Thank you. All right.
We should do a question off every time.
I didn't have that. He didn't say that to me. He didn't say that to me. And I probably knew of him more than you did. I know at least you, Tom.
And I'm not trying to muddy the waters, but he did say great question to me first, and then probably felt obligated after that. But that's just...
I felt obligation.
All right, so in order. Kenny Rogers, Stevie Wonder, Tina Turner, Dionne Warwick, James Ingram, Kenny Loggins, Lionel Richie, Michael Jackson, Steve Perry, Al Jarreau, Daryl Hall, Diana Ross, Huey Lewis.
Oh, Daryl Hall was there.
Willie Nelson, Billy Joel, Bob Dylan, Bruce Springsteen, Cyndi Lauper, Kim Carnes, Paul Simon, If Only for the Moment, Girl, Anita Pointer, Bette Midler, Harry Belafonte.
Oh, wait, so then Howard Jones was not there.
Unless
By the way,
he was in that bullpen.
I call my wife's breasts Cindy Floppers.
And then there was a bunch of bullpen actors and singers.
Hogan, get in there. Piscopo's horse's throat. Or throat is horse.
On a different list, I'm seeing Dan Aykroyd.
Dan Aykroyd, enough of you. Get out of here.
Sheila E. Yeah,
Get
there's
out of here,
some other
Ghost
people.
Job. We don't want you, Aykroyd.
And it says here, Al Jarreau was so drunk he couldn't hit the notes.
Oh, he couldn't? Does it really say that?
Yeah, it's just randomly on Google.
Wow. Al Jarreau.
Let's end with my favorite.
Let's end with my famous blueberry cobbler. Everybody get a spoon.
My favorite Dan Aykroyd, Ross McCoy.
That's why I was saying that. You didn't even get it?
So
I must have visited. I was looking at it.
No, this is my favorite. This is the best thing you ever said that Dan Aykroyd did to you.
So Ross went to an appearance by Dan Aykroyd at a ABC Liquor promoting his Crystal Skull vodka.
Crystal Skull vodka.
waited
And we were at a time when because we are country bumpkins, we thought Crystal Skull vodka was ooh la la fancy. We also bought the first attorney that helped us when Real Radio was trying to shut our doors. We bought him a tiny bottle of Crystal Skull.
Yeah, they made the little ones.
Yeah, we got him a little one. We're like,
a-
we saved all our money for this. Thank you for helping us pro bono. You are doing it pro bono, right?
I wonder if he still has sitting on his.
He probably left it at the restaurant. He
bookcase.
probably left it at Dexter's. He's like, I don't want this garbage.
So what happened, Ross?
We waited in line. ABC in the line. It was like, they do a line through the store. It took like maybe 30, 45 minutes to make it through. Me and the kids, who were super excited to see Dan Aykroyd.
Dan Aykroyd on the spectrum too, right?
I'm not sure.
I think he is.
I wouldn't bet against it.
Yeah, I think he is.
I may have showed them like Ghostbusters to get hyped up for it or something.
Hey guys, remember tomorrow we're going to the liquor store to meet Dan Aykroyd.
Why did you do this again? Because you wanted to meet Dan Aykroyd?
I was on a different podcast called Soma Cow with my buddy Mickey and Jeff and Jay, and so we kind of we thought we kind of all pitched in to get a bottle of Crystal Skull because it was cool at the time, and then also when I got up to the front of the line. He was doing the even way before COVID, he was doing the I will take a picture with you from behind the table, that one.
Oh yeah.
The Pauly Shore.
And so
I like that too.
Me and the kids did that, and then I pulled out a Soma Cow card. And I said, Mr. Aykroyd, if you ever doing anything you'd like to get the word out about, or if you just want to be interviewed by some real fans of your work, this is a podcast I'm associated with here in Orlando. And, just contact me anytime. We'd love to get you on the air. We'd be happy to accommodate you in any way possible. And he took the card and he was like, oh, thank you very much. And he handed it to a person behind him who took it and threw it in the trash.
In front of you. Directly in the trash.
I'll give this to my card disposer. And he handed it to the person whose job was to just put it directly in the trash.
See, there's so many things I like about this story. But the main thing
Kids
I
in
do...
a liquor store, number one, right off the bat. Dad takes kids to the liquor store. Fantastic.
All, this, Dan Aykroyd's been famous for a long time.
Yeah.
And then his personal assistant, even if he was new to the job, he's been around this at least... I'm going to say 6 times, right?
He gets 50 cards in appearance.
And you would think...
They had a can right there. He didn't have to go looking for one. It was right there.
You would think that...
While they were setting up, I bet you the assistant looked around and was like, guys, I need my card trash can.
Where's my human garbage trash can?
All he had to do was take it and then just put it in his pocket.
No.
And then he could dispose of it later.
No, you have cards in your pockets all the time.
So full of cards in your pockets.
He could have just put it onto the table. There's so many other things he could have done besides from throw it in the trash in front of you.
The fact that it was in front of you is so good. It's so good.
It would have been so easy to just put it aside in a little area where I'm sure Dan Aykroyd's personal belongings were or whatever, then throw it away after the appearance.
It's like showing up for a blind date and your date looks at you and goes, ew.
Why?
It's so blatant.
It would have been...
It's like if your date had a guy with her to say ooh for her.
Yeah, that's a better example.
It would have been so easy not to throw it away in front of your face. It's almost like they did it on purpose. Like he gets off but throwing away the people's stuff.
You know what?
In front of the people.
As the person, I kind of appreciated it because it let me know, don't wait for Dan Aykroyd to call. It's over.
Chat room weighing in with a counterpoint. The Twitch chat room, twitch.tv/Tom and Dan Live says, counterpoint, maybe that wasn't a trash can, but a bin he stored all business cards in. It was the business card bin.
Uh-huh.
Yeah,
it was a round metal bin with a plastic liner. Yeah.
Don't forget to put a business card liner in there.
At the ABC liquor store with the banana peel.
Right.
Dan Aykroyd's
Did
banana
your kids
peel.
see it?
Oh,
Did you react at all to them, or did you react at all?
No, they were way too young to notice something like that. They just were like, Ghostbuster Man, picture, we can go home now, yay!
Ice
so
cream.
good.
Because weren't you going through a phase where you take them to the beach and get them ice cream?
This was in prime, me doing stuff with the kids.
Super
days.
dad. You're a super dad.
I'm a housewife, so.
Me and Daniel are, let's say, 1/1000th of as famous as Dan Aykroyd. 1/1,000,000th or whatever you want to quantify it as.
Yeah, whatever.
But I've been handed some things throughout my career, like not that much, but like a couple dozen
I've never
things.
thrown it right in the trash. I'll never
The
do that.
idea
I'll never do that.
of taking it and then handing it to someone behind
I'd rather
me,
hurt myself.
and then that person behind me pulling up the trash can and putting it in front. I don't know. It just I get great enjoyment out of that.
Yeah,
it's such an awesome move to do.
It's a great move, but I don't think you and I can do it.
No.
But he's just dealt with it on a scale that's unprecedented to any of us. You know, like
I think the whole thing was a reaction. Like I think him handing
more
card
work to throw it away.
intern throwing into trash.
Yeah.
They didn't know they did that. They've done that so many times. That's been done over 100 times. I think it was a reaction. It was like, boop, boop, boop.
Sure. But it's almost more work to do that in front of the person. You could just put it to the side and say, thank you, and then just keep going, and you never need to do it.
I know.
But doing it is the ultimate power move.
then you end up with like a huge pile of business cards, and I'm presuming like little clay sculptures of Ghostbuster figures and stuff, and it's just easier.
Well, do you think
throw
about
it
that?
at the
Though?
end
Do
out
you
of
think
it.
about that though? Because, like, for instance, our friend Mike B brought you that ghost pepper hot sauce that's still there.
Well, I took it. I
And
said,
it's
thank
been
you.
sitting there. Is this still there?
Yeah, it's still there.
Okay, there it is. That is. How long has that been there, Ross?
No, he saw it when he came in, but that's at least at the time as a thank you. He drove away.
We're proving our point. We can't throw that away.
Yeah, but I could have. I guess I could have like hid this so he didn't see it when he came in. I thought it was funnier, but I still took it. I didn't throw it away in front of him. That's all.
No,
I'm
I don't
saying.
think we can.
No,
I don't think
it's
we
an
can do that.
impossibility.
No.
Anyway,
No,
all
you
right.
throw it away behind his back like a gentleman.
Yeah.
We'll take a quick break. We'll be right back with more Corporate Time. Welcome to Corporate Time with Tom and Dan. I'm Tom.
I am Dan. We are live on Twitch and YouTube. And if you like watching podcasts, we'd love for you to come over and watch us at Tom and Dan Live.
A couple things, Cows and Cabs charity event. It's in Winter Park.
Mm-hmm.
It's basically a huge, super fancy charity event.
Cows meaning steaks, and
Steaks
and cabs meaning Cabernet.
Wine, yeah.
Okay.
Wine, beer, spirits,
Gotcha.
a bunch of restaurants. It's it's all for charity, but it's basically all you could eat and drink.
I've never been, and I hear tell that it's a super fancy party.
Yeah, on,
so should I wear
Winter Park Saturday?
Should I wear my Mexican pointy dancing boots? I have those long Mexican pointy dancing boots that my wife bought me. Is that appropriate?
That's fine.
I'm going to wear those, and I'm going to light up the night.
And also, the food truck fiesta is this Sunday,
Yes,
and
sir.
Eric is going to be out there from 3 to 8 p.m. So head by the Sanford for the food truck fiesta.
Also, another thing that Eric started doing at our tent that's new, and we're just testing it out, he will braid your hair if you buy a shirt.
Yes, yeah.
He will. If you buy a Tom and Dan shirt, 3 Rasta beads.
yeah. You have to sit down in the
You have to
seat
sit
of
down. And it's weird seeing what appears to be a Castleberry biker braid your hair, but he knows what he's doing. He's really good.
Yeah. And his beard is a little bit braided, so you know he's good at it.
He looks like kind of like a Jack Sparrow vibe going on. All right. Is this a weird job?
Yeah.
And I made them a special song.
Yeah.
Do you want the special song?
Is it a funky?
It is a funky
weird
song,
Okay.
but it's AI, so they might be allergic to it.
All right,
but I
all
do
right.
like a good AI song. Here we go. Let's get funky.
What are you doing? What is your job? Are you neat? Are you tidy? Or are you a fat slob? You make lots of money and you sit up in your tower looking down on all the people that are working by the hour. Weird Job Wednesday. Just another Weird Job Wednesday. Oh yes, it's Weird Job Wednesday. Just another Weird Job Wednesday. Thank you, Tom.
Bring the horns in.
Thank you, Tom.
It ends if you just want to play it. You gonna play it out? Take your flowers. Take your flowers. Here you go.
Thank you, Tom. Thank you, Tom.
There you go.
For Weird Job Wednesday, we've got the Universal Funk Orchestra. Dizzle Funk, Billy, Chris, and LaRue are on the couch with us. How you guys doing?
All right. Good to see you guys. Thanks for being here.
Thanks for having us, guys.
Let's talk funk.
What kind of funk?
You guys have a new album coming out November 23rd.
Yes.
But let's talk about how you guys started. How did the Universal Funk Orchestra start?
Take it away, Chris.
Okay, I knew that was coming my way.
It's coming your way.
This band has been in many different variations, many other bands. So I met Dizzle at least 18, maybe 19 years ago.
Whoa. That's awesome. That's awesome.
Pretender was Craigslist.
Very much Craigslist.
19 years ago?
It was a while.
That long.
It's been close to it, yeah.
Yikes.
But we met back then, and I was in another band. He was a DJ, and then he ended up joining a band called Family Gang that I ended up joining. So other bandmates, our buddy Jester, who's in the band, who couldn't make it today. They kept doing stuff. Then came, I believe, American Jesus, and I joined that band with them. And then from American Jesus and doing one of your mixtapes, we started UFO in 2017.
Nice. So you guys have been playing music and been doing this together for quite some time. Gotcha. That's awesome.
So, who was the funk influence? Like, why funk? Is it just something you grew up playing? Everybody.
Are you asking the origin story of their name?
Yeah.
Would you guys classify yourselves as a funk band, or what would you classify yourselves as?
Some of us would consider us a funk band. Some of us would not. I consider us a funk band. But I believe we have a more rock influence, especially live. So it goes a little harder than what you would consider funk. But on record, I think we're a pretty funky band.
Yeah, and I think what kind of makes us stand apart is our ability to kind of cross genres. We're able to tailor to a old rock fan as well as a new age hip hop fan.
So you can get some dumpy ass biker dancing too.
Exactly. We've seen it all.
Like the guy that won America's Got Talent. Have you seen that potato? Oh my God, that big fat potato. He won.
We've seen a little
That's
bit
supposed to be our best. That guy.
Absolutely.
Hey, man.
So for those people that don't necessarily understand what funk is, can you describe it? And in a way that people can understand that are not, musically inclined.
Okay.
I mean, I guess if I had to give you a technical definition of what funk is, I mean, it's got a lot of syncopation, a lot of rhythm, a lot of drive, a lot of soul, but also, to quote Prince, if you are describing funk, that ain't funk. So
I used to say about Bret Michaels. I used to say the same thing about Bret Michaels because he would be like, "This rocks, that rocks, this rocks, this rocks." I'm like, dude, if you're saying it rocks, it doesn't rock.
Yeah, exactly.
You don't rock if you're like, "This rocks." I'm like, get the hell out of here.
Bret Michaels one more time.
I'm glad that Prince said that. So Prince is right. Prince is absolutely right. Somebody asked me yesterday. Prince must be in the air. Somebody asked me yesterday what was my favorite Prince song, and then my wife and I started talking about it, and then we were going all over the place. I believe my wife's favorite Prince song is "Diamonds and Pearls."
Gotcha.
And I think I'm more of a Cream man myself.
So you guys are rooted in the Diamonds and Pearls.
Diamonds and Pearls era. Yeah,
Gotcha.
We didn't go way too far back.
No, I'm a Prince fanatic, so I cannot pick. I can't.
Yeah, well, I mean, the guy's, I mean, I don't even know if you could classify him as a musician. Too big.
Too
smart.
Beyond music.
Bro, but funk make your booty move.
Okay.
That's for the layman.
Yeah. So white guy raises his hands as funk makes your booty move. Excuse me, black guys, you missed one. Funk makes your booty move.
You're getting too esoteric here.
Or was he like this? Or was he like, great, they didn't say it. I can look cool. Booty move.
We rehearsed it, bro. We rehearsed it, don't worry.
Yeah.
Are there any instruments besides percussion and bass that a funk band needs?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Do they need horns?
Yeah.
Why do you think I put horns in the song?
Guitar.
No, I know. I'm just asking.
Guitar, bro.
Guitar,
Have funk without funky electric guitar.
Yeah, I think he's right on that.
I don't know if this counts, but I've been trying to rotate a banjo into the band for a long time.
A banjo?
And they will not.
You're in the South. You can do that. You're allowed to do whatever you want.
They won't let me.
Don't tell him this.
I think Outkast did it. I feel like Outkast broke the rules on what can be funky.
Right.
And I'm a major Outkast fan. So like when you're listening and you listen to like I was listening this morning to what's the Outkast song? It's like Funkin' Around, or like, and they have some weird instrumentation in there. Yeah. And then Andre even says it. He goes, "Everybody thinks it's cool to be from the South now." He talks sort of like that sometimes.
You can start an Outkast band now because that was spot on.
That's not bad. That's not bad.
That's like a career.
Can you get too crazy in funk? I'm sorry, I'm asking you.
Where you're wearing a diaper and you're getting out of a spaceship?
No, I wouldn't.
And once again, Parliament fan. So I can't diss on that.
I loved it. That
Yeah.
was one of the first records I bought in DeLand was Parliament Funkadelic, and I didn't understand I had no business owning it.
That's how I got into funk music as a child.
Yeah,
ran across my parents' collection, and I saw Mothership Connection.
There you go.
Terrified of the album cover.
Yeah, it didn't make any sense. Like when I was buying records, Invasion of the Doo-Doo Chasers is a record by
Funkadelic,
and they have
amazing.
like
PE Squad.
They have Space Doo-Doo Monster Folklore that do that. I'm not kidding you. Look it all up. You can look it all up. I'm not making this
all
up.
facts.
It's all facts that they had folklore and characters like people that wore diapers and doo-doo monsters and funk and spaceships and lasers.
Dr. Funkenstein, Star
Dr.
Child, Sir
Funkenstein.
Nose Devoid of Funk.
Yes.
Mr. Wiggles the Worm. There's a bunch of.
This guy's an encyclopedia of anything you ask.
I love it.
Okay,
I love it.
So the crazier,
I'm gonna have to revisit some Parliament now.
Do it.
the more
all the way.
over the top, the better in the funk
Well,
genre.
it depends, because you can do over the top cookie cutter, where it's just like I've heard this 1,000 times. Why is there 18 horns and 14?
Yeah, you could be
vocals?
very derivative of other bands that were original, like for a while, like everybody was really trying to search, like any funk band I noticed in time was trying to search the whole late 60s, very early 70s thing, where my thing has always been late 70s, early 80s, because that's just where I'm from. But
Right.
it just really depends on how you swing it. There's ways where you can go overboard, like where you have like 1,000 musicians on stage and everybody's trying to solo and it sounds like a cacophony of disaster.
Now, what do you guys feel like is most important? Is it the rhythm section when you're talking about funk?
Yeah.
Is it really rooted in the bass and drums?
But isn't everything rooted in rhythm section?
To me, it is. I'm a drummer, so I'm going to answer that. And my secondary instrument's bass, so of course I'm going to say that because I love the rhythm section.
Gotta have the rhythm.
But like, I feel like the little bits and pieces are that's most important too.
Well, yeah, you got to sprinkle the seasoning on it.
So how do you guys start writing the new album? So you want to do you come together with who's the main songwriter? How does it all kind of start?
We all are.
Nice.
Like everybody kind of like holds their own, their own in the studio or in practice. So like it really, if somebody has an idea, like for instance, didn't you come up with you came up with the bass line for Regular Vibe?
Sure.
So you brought that up to us, and then he showed us what he had, and then we just start, through practice working on it until
LaRue starts working on the lyrics.
He starts working on the lyrics. I do my drum stuff. In the studio I may do like keyboard stuff, but we all kind of bring our parts together. So we're all kind of writing it together.
Nice.
Is it impossible to play funk and be around funk and be dead sober? Because I feel like
it's not impossible.
It's not a little bit, even if you're microdosing.
It's not impossible.
I've heard some of the best musicians, and they don't smoke, they don't drink. It's baffling to me. I could never do it, but some people have the will and the soul, and they can handle it.
They're just dead sober.
They're either. I had a dream about this. I figured out who these sober people are. There's only two types of sober people: either recovering addicts,
I was gonna say,
or people who are born that never do it. That's it.
That's it. Most of the ones that I've seen that play at like a very high level, and that have done it for like, let's say 40 years. They went to the edge and almost died, and they had to stop. You know what I mean? Like, a lot of those guys are like, it's just like, the only way they can play music is to do it sober.
I absolutely, I hate the people who are like, I tried weed a couple times in college. Not for me.
Those are the guys who can't do it.
You're 48 years old now. What are you talking 28 years ago? You're smoking regs with seeds in it in the 80s. And you have there's weed stores on every block. Go inside, get your card.
Eat a candy.
What a hard time to be sober. It's a hard time.
Take 5 milligrams. It'll make your day better. It'll make your kids' recitals better. Everything better.
Well, I was channeling that. I knew what you were going to say, because it was like, you're talking about, look, we're the guys, we can't even walk trick-or-treating with our kids without being sober.
But then you do more and more than high every day for years. And you're like, oh.
But you guys are responsibly high. You know what I mean? You're not
I wouldn't
putting
say
it to
that.
the limits and taking your kids kids out trick or treating.
I never said that.
It's all about maintaining.
You're speaking for me. You're putting words in my mouth.
I'll push it to the limit.
I never said that. I push it to the limit. Yeah. I'm drunk.
Off the rails.
I get drunk and slap my family around.
Well, can I come over for Thanksgiving?
I don't do that.
I'm towing my boat. I'm like, I shouldn't be doing this.
I'm joking. We don't do any of that. Yeah, but let's talk about We're Joe. Where are we?
Okay, back to the band. So you guys are releasing an album on the 23rd of November. When did the last album come out?
This is our first debut album. We've only released singles.
Oh, no, only okay.
Congrats, y'all.
Yeah.
That's huge.
But you guys have been playing for a while now.
Yep.
It's been a while, and yeah, we've just been methodically releasing singles and videos over the few years. Of course, we had a little bit of a lull because of the pandemic, but that's when the majority of the record was recorded. Actually.
Yeah, I think that's the kind of the coolest part about like this whole band is like a lot of the record, a lot of the album was recorded during the pandemic when we were on lockdown. You know, we had these what am I trying to say? The curfews. We had curfews.
Right, yeah.
And we were like risking our lives, coming to practice, and we were.
This guy
Definitely. You're talking to a Florida audience here.
Yeah.
That was very cinematic.
Our listeners barely changed their lifestyle.
This is a true story. We canceled an event that we had going on, and we were getting death threats from. We were getting letters. You pussies! What are you doing, Tom and Dad? Remember that? Or people are yelling at us.
I
We're
wake up for this. Where are you?
We're trying to be respectful to our audience, and people are like, "I thought you were strong."
They're like, I'll wear a mask in public, but that's it. Nothing else. So, how many songs on the album?
7.
Anybody's
8,
songs? Whose songs got cut? Whose songs got
Every
cut?
Jester song got
Every
cut.
Jester song is gone.
R.I.P.
No songs got cut.
And Jester's a man, right?
Yeah.
He used to be one.
Yeah, he said hi too.
We don't know.
He
He
said
said he
hi.
had surgery last week. I don't know what happened.
No idea.
Jester, shout out to Jester. Sorry you couldn't be here. Does he wear a Jester hat?
He used to.
We won't let him.
In a former band, he used to.
Yeah.
I feel like once you wear the Jester, you can never get rid of it. It's like the Tony Soprano of hats.
But to be fair to Jester, he told me to tell you guys, he says hi, you guys should remember him from Bad Santa and the Angry Elf.
Yeah. We know that guy.
Yeah, that guy.
Yeah, absolutely. I know that guy.
So I may be wrong about this, but it seems like there's not that many funk bands, at least that I hear of. Like, in fact, you guys are the only funk band that I could name locally or within a couple hundred miles.
That goes back to not really being a funk band, because if you think of any bands that are funk here, they're straight funk, straight cover, too many horns. I'm going to be quiet now, but cover funk, but not original
Don't
funk.
burn any bridges.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, I think the name could be a little confusing for people at times. We've shown up to places like in South Carolina. They're like, "Oh man, we've been dying to hear some funk," and we kind of look at each other like,
Well,
"Man, we
don't
got a couple funk songs,
Man,
but a lot of them are there's those genre crossers,
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
And that goes along with it too, because it opens in the funk genre. Really, it's a huge
It's
spectrum.
wide.
Right?
Yeah.
It's a wide spectrum, and I mean, it goes from your most kind of soul R&B to your heavy rock,
Hip hop too,
hip hop.
Yeah.
I mean,
Rap.
dance music,
Yeah.
Hip hop.
Funk can inhabit almost any genre, really. So that's. It just takes the ear to find the rhythm and find the groove, and anything that has a groove, and that's most genres have some sort of groove going on, so everything can be funky.
Yeah, it was always weird to me as a young kid growing up, seeing bands like the Beastie Boys that you knew were rooted in originating in punk rock music and skate culture, and then you saw them go rap, but then at the same time you'd see them do instrumentals in their instrumental incarnation, and it would be more like a traditional funk band. You'd have a guy playing congas, you'd have a guy on the bongas, you'd have auxiliary percussion, they'd be using wind chimes and stuff to make it
absolutely
very sexy and funky, and it just I think that you do.
That's a good.
Well, you get more leeway, I feel like, when you do what you guys do. I would say that you guys are kind of I don't know, it is hard to explain.
Yeah, and I think and it's tough, right? Because if you look at the name, for people who go, are out of town, never heard of us, heard the music, they see funk or they see orchestra, and
right?
They come to a conclusion of what they're gonna be hearing, but they'll get something that's across the board. Like I said, there are shows that we'll perform to where there might be a jam for 45-year-old woman, and then there's jams for the 25-year-old kids, not kids, but young adults.
Yeah.
You know, and it's that way. And then sometimes, you know, it's just like people are just blown because it's different. It's not, you know, like that cookie cutter sound that Dizzle's kind of describing. You know, it's experimental and it's out there and it's
Man,
I like
well
that.
said. That was awesome.
My man.
Well said.
Can we write that down?
I memorized.
Write that down. Tom said something I wrote down earlier. I want to throw it by. Hold on. Where are we going to find this? Where is it? It's so good. Hold on. I got to find this.
So-
I don't want you guys to leave. Okay, here it is. I got it.
come on.
I'm going to throw this at you. This is really good. It's the business of life.
God damn it.
Okay, hold on. Let me,
I have to do an improv commercial.
Yeah, just listen to it. Just listen to me.
I'm listening.
It's powerful. It's the business of life. Do the best that you can.
Oh man, that's a commercial for
How
sure.
good is that?
That's a t-shirt.
He admitted that. It's
in the air now, though.
He was doing a
It's a
commercial.
media thing.
He was doing a commercial about either Streamline or Bart Merrick Team or two of our clients. This is
Yeah.
what this guy's got the goods. And he looks at me at the end and he's just improvising. He goes, "It's the business of life. Do the best that you can." I shut the equipment off. I took my headphones off. I was like, this guy's got the goods. It is amazing.
That's a car commercial.
That's a gold
That's an
line.
insurance commercial.
That you could either sell something or put somebody through an existential crisis.
Yeah.
Whichever comes
Yeah.
first.
So
I feel
speaking
like that's the funkiest thing you've ever said.
Speaking of the business of life, let's talk about the business of a funk band.
Yeah, see what he did with the segue there? God damn,
Nice.
this guy's a
That's
king.
why you guys are married.
So
huh?
we know there's touring and there's ticket sales and like album sales is hard nowadays.
It
So
is hard.
Spotify doesn't pay anything. Like they're paying. We'll give you 1 penny for every every
penny.
10 downloads.
Yeah.
And you're like, well, what?
It's ridiculous.
So the like, what is the business moving forward? Is it just trying to expose yourself to as many listeners as possible? Do you have to like put out snippets on social media? Hopefully that like your songs
That's what
go
comedians
viral.
have to. Our comedian friends are like, all they
Yeah.
complain about is social media.
Yeah, all they do
And
is
they're tired of it.
put up crowd work clips and hoping one will get
How much time you guys
500,000.
got? Like,
Well, I'm just curious of what your guys. How do you look at
straight
it?
up, we're in the process, or we're in the state of ticket sales, merchandise sales, album sales. You know, if we make $25 every 4 months on Spotify, that's that. You know, the goal is to put ourselves in front of as many people as possible. If we can get licensing deals with commercials and, you know, things of that nature, that would help with, like, you know, more residuals. But honestly, there's not really any residuals in this game anymore. Like, even if we get licensed for movies, like, there's no residuals. You get that check and that's it.
One of the things that I've noticed is, you know, we use it here in doing commercials. There's a website that you can adhere to or sign up for, and there's many of them. Ours is called like Story Blocks, and they buy music from creators like you, but it's the same thing. It's just like Spotify. So again, I can go in there, I subscribe for like, let's say $7 a month, and I have unlimited music that I can use that's royalty free, but these guys are still getting screwed. They're not getting really pay. All this stuff's on there. Yeah, it's visible. Yeah, people are using it. But I don't know. I really worry about my musician friends, and because it's like, you know, it's just as diluted as what we're doing.
Yeah, I mean, that happened back. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
No,
but that started back with Napster. You know, like when that came out, that's when the whole trend of screwing musicians came afoot.
Yeah, and,
Sure,
you know,
yeah.
when there's
That's
no
why
way to
it's
make money off your
entertainment,
music,
Yeah.
but selling
in
it.
general.
Right.
Man, remember like imagine the musicians, they got that sweet, go back to CDs, CD money. Like they just sit
Dude.
back and
Selling
make
in the trunk of your car, bro.
Well, you want that last one, right? You want that
30
last
million.
one right before CD or MP3s, like right before they were burning them.
right before the
You
internet.
want that sweet NSYNC Bye album.
Oh, they got screwed. Well, you'd have to own your own.
Well, I mean, I'm just saying that's when it was selling. Like, that's when there was not
You didn't
quite
have to
digital.
tour.
Yeah, it wasn't quite digital yet.
Yeah,
it was there.
People would buy the whole album
Yeah.
for $19.99. You know, like, and then
Burn it for the fans.
But what I mean is, there was a sweet spot where you'd almost want both, and I found this out through my wife because she's younger than me. I mean, you can go figure, but it's like she would buy the CD and buy the MP3. There was a sweet spot when you wanted the physical media plus you wanted the MP3, and that's when you got stinking rich. That's when, like, Celine Dion, these legacy artists, your
easy to buy. You don't have to go
Yeah.
down to Specs
Yeah.
Peaches.
Yeah, but you would. See, you'd buy the MP3 day of, and then you'd source the physical media and buy that too, and they got you twice.
Yeah.
Oh, and that's when you got stupid
On
rich.
the other hand, though, what is good now is that we own our own masters. We own our rights.
Nice.
Yeah.
But we can't reach that other level unless we have the help of those guys at
The promotional power. Yeah.
you know?
Right.
That's a hard thing to do because then if someone comes to you and like, hey, sign over half of your rights, but we'll help promote it, and then you have to do the math of like, maybe this will make more than if we owned 100%, but it's all a gamble at a certain time because like you don't want to give it up, and then next thing you know, and you don't hit it rich, and you're like, well, now I only own half of it. It is a hard gamble. The music industry is it does seem like an insane amount of luck mixed with just an endless grind.
Endless.
Yeah. But to add to that, it's like nowadays it's like, as much as you're not going to make money through aggregators that are online. You go into a CD Baby or something like that, they'll disperse your music everywhere. Now you can have a following of 100 people. If those 100 people buy your merch, they support, come to your shows, they tell people, those are the people that can keep you afloat and actually put a lot of money in your pocket.
You don't need the tens of thousands anymore. Like we said that with podcasting.
That's why it's so important to have people come to the shows. Right? Like when you guys you come on our show and we talk about it, and then people hear this like, oh, I'd like to check these guys out. Understand that the pendulum is back to where if you go to a venue here locally in town and you see UFO play, that you're helping them. Like it matters now again.
Yeah, and that's I'm just to finish. I'm gonna wrap it up. That's what we want. That's our aim, right? I don't know if I'm speaking for everyone, but I see a vision of us having a niche audience that travels with us. If we're in Orlando, they're coming from Atlanta to Orlando. If we're in Atlanta, we're whatnot, and they're buying everything. So I see that as a vision for us to have a niche audience that's just loyal and follows us.
Yeah, and just to add to what you're saying, I mean, it becomes very grassroots at this point, where, you're at the shows, you do have merch, because like you said, the streaming doesn't really pay much, but there are a couple of avenues, like we have the vinyl record for sale,
nice.
And then as well as like different outlets like Bandcamp, which let you keep all your royalties and people can buy your music, Yeah. And so those are two different avenues for the music. But then in this day, it seems that merchandise seems to do way better, So people will more than likely buy a T-shirt or, the hoodies we,
merch.
had. Yeah. So as long as you have cool merch, people will be attracted to that. And, it's got your name on it. It will get them to the music, and hopefully that garners more.
Jim Colbert said on his show the other day that the phrase "get her done" is not copywritten. and I can't get it out of my head. I can't get it out of my head.
That's gotta be copywritten.
He told me and his audience
So do it.
that it's not copywritten, and I'm thinking about selling "Get Her Done" Tom Denver.
Do it.
Oh, we've been sued out of existence.
But it's not copywritten.
Yeah, they
Just
can.
go on the internet and file.
One of
I just thought of that. I spell it differently.
Mary the Cable Guy's lawyers had to have copywritten. Anyway, I have a business idea for you guys.
Oh, I knew you did.
So along the same lines as merch, right? You sell UFO mushroom gummies. Okay, follow me here. Because I see these on my Facebook feed. They're like mushroom gummies, and then there's a cartoon of some guy looking out a bus window, and then there's like doom and gloom, and then on the mushroom gummies, it's all rainbows.
Yeah. When he eats the gummies, the stuff he's looking at turns into great stuff.
But, and because everybody's into like mushrooms and but
no, we're all just into doing drugs, and like we've got to a point now
Desensitized. It's way desensitized.
Yeah, everybody's just like we're all on drugs now.
But you can't sell the psilocybin ones because they are illegal, right? Because you'll the cops will eventually.
I don't know what works anymore. I order THC seltzers online. They deliver them to my daughter, and she's 9.
So that's what you do because the THCA and the Delta, whatever.
But we don't do the fake crap. We hate the fake crap.
No. But this is about the money.
Yeah.
Shut up.
I'm with you.
you resting on your balls?
I'm gonna whisper
You're gonna
something to
fake
you.
like you want to be rich.
I'm gonna whisper
This guy wants to be rich.
That guy wants to be rich.
Who wants to be rich? I forgot which one's Lulu.
Where's the McDonald's at? UFO Big Mac while we're at it. Let's go.
You don't have to use your own.
And so,
like, you're just gonna sell it. You're not gonna use it.
So you buy the mushroom gummies, which are all just some sort of roots or whatever. It's not even. It's just some BS that does nothing.
Could be anything.
And then you take a dropper of the THC A or the Delta 9 or whatever, and you put some real Delta 9 on each one.
Trying to get us arrested, my guy.
This is
totally
legal.
fine. That's an agricultural loophole.
They're giving it away in Sanford. I saw the line. The chronic guru, the porn guy.
I had a young girl.
He's selling weed.
I had a young girl that looked like I had a young girl yell at me because I'm like, "Hey, what's going on over there?" She yells in my face. She goes, "If you're in line, they're giving away an eighth of free weed." And I'm like, "What is happening?" And she's like, "Yeah, the porno guy's giving away weed."
UFO mushroom gummies. You sell them at the merch.
Sell them at the table.
Yeah, and then everybody's taking them, and then they feel it. They're like, "Oh my god, something's happening," because they're getting the Delta 9.
The money, man.
Yeah. And then when you ingest marijuana, you guys know it gives you kind of that psychedelic. You know, like,
they don't know. They won't know.
Yeah, you feel you know. Like, I ate a bunch of weed the other day, and I started tripping. I think.
So do we need a consent form with these?
No. You're going to be in and out before the consent form.
They won't know where it came
It's
from.
a turn and burn scenario.
Back it up. They got it.
And I honestly think it's legal. Like you can sell Delta 9.
I don't think anybody knows I don't think anybody knows what's happening anymore. I go to
Mushroom
full
gummies.
gas stations. I'll go to a gas station. I'll just walk up there with just a dime Mountain Dew. I go to set it down. To the left, there's a glass case with weed in it. Like weed. It like
The
like,
pipes.
like
That's
no.
the
I'm
Delta
talking
9.
about I'm talking
nugs
about
of weed.
nugs of weed. I'm like, well, what is that? There's Delta 9. I'm like, all right, that's fine. Okay.
And then the back of your head starts itching, and you're like, I love it.
Yeah, I guess anybody can do
You're
anything.
smoking. You're like, oh my!
I'm not kidding you. I bought THC
possible?
seltzers. I bought mimosa flavored. I bought Arnold Palmer flavored.
They're beer fest.
And fruit punch. I bought 3 of them. They delivered it to my house. Maisie answers the door. They're like, here you go, little girl. Load her up with THC. She's like, Dad, your mimosas are here. I'm like, what? I'm like, where did you get that?
Once again.
So where can people find not only the new album but also your music?
Yeah.
On the chronicguru.com website.
Click the video of your choice, and he will tell you where to go.
Yo, how funny is that though? Like I used to see him, and like, there's no way this,
I know
this
you
guy's
used
from
to see
Sanford.
him. We all used to see him.
Yeah, no, I know.
Are you looking for the best weed in Sanford, Florida? Look no further than Chronic Guru. Ain't that right, Allie? Everybody knows that. We've all got it burned into our brains. I've watched that guy do an advertisement for Chronic Guru 1 million times on the toilet.
Yeah.
And then, also, we tried to advertise Tom and Dan on
Pornhub. Denied.
and they won't let us.
Denied. They're like, you're vulgar. Get out of here. I'm like, well, you let Chronic Guru do it. They're like, he doesn't make D jokes.
Have you seen the videos? There's secretly recorded husband and wife
like
videos.
His ad ran before a video where a dude stuffed him in a. You know the video I'm talking about. Yeah, everybody knows that video.
And it looks like it's surveillance camera footage. Like, no one. Anyway,
But he gets you. You're like, yes, I do kind of want to buy some weed in Sanford.
Now that you mention it.
So where can people get the new album when it comes out?
On our website, universal.orchestra.com.
Yep.
Universal what?
Universal Funk. Is it Universal Orchestra or Universal
You guys
Funk
don't know our own
Orchestra?
website?
I go to the
Get it right.
Instagram. The Instagram is the hub for me.
I like that
we got
you guys
all the
are
links.
the Tom and Dan band. What's the website again? What's the
Universal.
Go to universalfunkorchestra.com. Keep it simple.
Thank
And you
you.
can find everything, our social media, our music on the website.
You want to find the best funk in Sanford, Florida?
That's a good idea.
You can
Porn
swap
up.
that. You can ain't that right, Dizzle? And then you do the thing.
It's just me and Billy back here.
And you're dressed like Allie, because Allie is on the computer, and then when he says that, she like looks up like, I don't want my parents to see this.
My Uncle Joe's gonna watch this while he's, you know what he's doing.
Oh, my dad's in the babysitter videos.
Oh, sorry.
All right, we gotta get out of here.
Yeah, I was gonna say too. Like as far as sorry.
No, you're good. You're on the floor. You're on the floor.
Not only can you find us at universalfunkorchestra.com, We also have some album release parties coming up. If you're in the Orlando area, we're going to be at D's Brothers in Sanford.
Oh, that's a great spot.
November 23rd, and then we're going to be back in Orlando at Will's Pub on Saturday, November 30th. So if you can make it, definitely a time to pick up the first copies of the vinyl, see our hear the new music for yourself. We'll have CDs, and I'm looking for the guy that's braiding. If he's going to come with.
Eric will be out there braiding hair, and he braids all ethnicities of hair. Because I don't want anyone to feel left out.
Yeah. He'll do everything.
He'll do. But he does specialize in like traditional African. I made sure to look at the black people when I said that.
Right in the eye.
Right in the eye. I don't want people to think I'm scared.
That's why you can't be on Pornhub. That's why.
I don't want people to think I'm scared of black people, because a lot of white people are scared of black people.
Why?
And I am not.
I don't know.
I'm an ally. I'm an ally.
But we're going to come out to Bad at Business and pass out some handouts. If that's cool with you guys.
And this is perfect after our beer fest.
Well, D's Brothers, they're going to be at the beer fest, so come hang out. You guys, they make really good beer. So
yeah, man.
So come on out and hang with us.
They're going to brew our own batch of beer. It's called Thunder and Lightning.
Thunder and Lightning.
Oh, I love that.
Yes.
Oh, that's killer, man.
We're there in the tasting, so it's great.
Awesome. Tom just did a whole segment about how he doesn't think that's a very big deal anymore when you get your own beer.
Why did you say that, Alex? I'm improving. I said something. Why don't you bring that up around our friends?
That's 2 for 2. That's 2 for 2.
Wait, can't tell you nothing anymore. I'm just sitting here. I don't even believe that. I just said it. I didn't believe half the things I say.
So we're going to bring you some crappy beer and some acid for Bad at Business.
I literally just made myself cry.
I'm just saying that a lot of people put the label on him. They're like,
That's all we did.
But then you said you were there at the tasting, which makes it different. But Tom was saying that a lot of people live. Oh my God, I made myself cry.
Universal Funk Orchestra. Catch them at their album release party.
Oh, the chat room says I'm bullying you good.
Find them on Google.
Instagram is the place. You said Instagram is the main
Universal
spot.
Funk Orchestra. And if you type in Universal Funk Orchestra, you should be able to find it.
You can also call us UFO. So
UFO. Go find them, guys. Thanks
you got
so much
some
for
awesome
coming
merch,
in.
by the way. Your merch is on point.
Well, ours is not, because I'll continue with my honesty. Ours is not, because Eric says nothing is selling.
Nothing.
Free braid with every shirt. You get one Tom and Dan shirt, one braid.
Oh, Eric will love that. Free braid. Free braid, one per family.
All right. Hey, thanks so much for having us.
We just like screwing around, and anytime we can help you guys out, and we've known Dizzle for a while, and it's great to finally get all you guys in here. So thanks for being good sports.
Absolutely.
And guys, we will be right back. Hey, babe, it's me. I want to make you look bad. Tell them how dumb you are. What line?
1.
Hey, Crystal, what's up?
Hey, what's going on?
How are you?
So,
I'm good.
Tell us about how you got scammed like a meemaw from ordering something.
It's not fair that you just call her and you're like, here, we're going to put you on the line. Tell them how dumb you are.
Yeah, so I'm not that old, I grew up with the internet.
You're 37 years old, lady. Come on.
Thank you.
Come on.
No.
I forgot this morning. I was literally, I was like, hold on, am I turning 42 or 43? I literally, oh my God, I started doing the math of my birth year. Anyway, go ahead.
It gets harder to remember the older you get.
It does.
But I've always wanted this vase. It's peace sign vase from the Jungalo, and it's an account that I follow, and she's like very jungly and African, and it's really like she has really cool styles. And,
a lot of people don't know that you have one of the largest collections of pre-apartheid African art, right?
Oh,
in Orlando, or did you give it to the museum? You're offering up some of the collection.
Oh, Daniel, my great grandmother painted these African paintings, and I love them.
They are very good. They're seated next to your singing Satchmo.
Oh, come on. Anyway,
which my sons are, they call it Barack Obama. And I'm like, don't say that out loud.
Barack Obama, change, am I right? All right.
Oh my God. Anyway, the vase was like $50, and it's like I just never could talk myself into buying it because I don't know. Do I need to spend $50 on a vase? I don't really need. But anyway, when I was on the bus ride...
Oh, so you did anyway.
No, I, as an emotional person, I think she should do it. She's earned the vase. I mean, how many... You can't just have your stinky old plants in little paper cups everywhere in the house. This woman deserves a vase.
It's like a decorative vase. Like I would just put some fake,
Put some beads.
Things in it.
Water beads. Put some water beads in it. Put a lily. Put a lily and some water beads in there.
We got a lot of vases.
The other day when I was... on the bus ride to St. Augustine for Max's field trip, I was bored, so I was just, looking at my phone for however long it took to get there. And I thought about the vase, and I looked it up, and it was on sale. So I was like, oh, this is awesome. Anyway, I poked around her website, and I thought about buying some other things that were on sale, and I was like, no, I'm just going to buy this one. Let me, restrain myself. And so I purchased it, and right when I hit pay, I got a text message from my bank that said, did you just try to make a purchase for this amount from this website? And it was like not the same amount, and it was not the same website. So, anyway, but then the card didn't go through. So they asked me for my card information again. So I put it in again. And apparently it was a totally fake website. And I was just entering my card over and over and charging myself to some scam website.
Oh, that's awesome. Oh, that's fantastic. Show your mobs. Show your mobs, quick.
Well, that's where the old lady part comes in.
You got to keep doing it.
As I understand, you did it once, and then something weird happened.
Yeah.
That should have been the tell to, hey, let's pull back here.
Yeah, my mom gave Newt Gingrich $1,000 26 times via email.
When something weird happens, and that's... Listen, I'll get tricked every once in a while. It happens a lot. But then when something...
Fool me once, shame on me. Fool me twice. We're in St. Augustine.
But when something weird is happening, I'm not like, oh, no, I can't be wrong. I'm just going to keep doing it.
I'm going to force this scam through.
Because people tell me I'm wrong all the time, if something weird happens, I'm like, must be wrong.
Yeah.
I'm cautious. And I think
Do you feel like that? Are you like a dog now, like a scared dog?
Yeah. When I go over, I'm like, there's an open bowl of food here?
Something's wrong.
Yeah, this is a trick of something.
Yeah. They're going to tie me to a tree.
Sometimes there's these little phishing things that come up. Like you get emailed all the time emails from like Bank of America, and then it has like a Wells Fargo thing in the body of the email, and it wants you to put in your bank info, or like PayPal, and then it asks you to log in directly from the email. Like those are obvious, but this is an entire website. The entire website is like mimicked from the original girl's website. So her actual website is jungalo.com, and this website is jungaloshop.com.
Wait, Juggalo.com? I know what happened.
But so it has all of her information. It has I don't know. I can't explain it. It has all the tabs. It's got
That's
all
what old people say. That's what old people say. They get flustered and they go, I can't explain it.
But it's got the tabs. It was the top result on Google too. So I kind of do have a little bit of a trust if I'm searching like Jungalo on Google and that's the first one that comes up. I just clicked on it. I didn't know, to look for jungalo.com instead of jungaloshop.com.
I could see that happening 100%.
And there's software that mimics, will mimic an entire other website.
Email, websites, phone calls, everything.
It would just copy everything.
Yeah, it's laid on top of it. It's not even, you're not even on the regular site. You think you are. What you're visualizing is something completely different, and they're hiding the actual web address of where you're at. It's not easily active for you to see that. So... that sucks. I'm sorry, Krista. Are you gonna get the vase? Did you get your money back?
No, I don't get the vase. It's I didn't buy it.
No, buy it. I mean you could buy it you could treat yourself now.
Well, I don't even want to admit this part. I later found out that the Jungalo shop is closed. It's permanently closed, so I can no longer ever get this vase.
Oh, now it's a super rare vase.
So the whole thing was just a waste, and I got a bunch of charges, and then, but they, the bank refunds them to you, so that's nice. But I have almost every single thing I pay for, all my bills, everything, it's auto pay to this card, so now I have to spend hours going back and changing the credit card numbers from
the old one to the new one. For Christmas, man.
Now,
you need to get. Did you write down that she wants?
Great inconvenience.
Did you write down that she wants that vase? See, a smart man that wants mouth time for boys would write down right now peace sign vase, very rare, hard to find, and flag that for Christmas, and that way you get her the vase.
That thing has been, Daniel. That has been in my Christmas list for years.
You know what?
And he's never
I
bought it.
might know a certain little elf that might be bringing you a vase this year. And his name might be Little Baja Blast Danny. I've switched to Baja Blast now. I don't drink a Diet Mountain Dew. I drink Baja Blast.
Here's the kicker to all this. I'm at Publix like 4 days ago, and I'm buying some stuff, and I normally don't leave the house dressed, that poorly because I'm embarrassed to who I'm going to run into. But today I was.
What'd you have on? Tasmanian Devil shirt?
Tiny Dukes, some stained shirt, and a bandana.
All right.
And then I'm checking out. I hand my card over, and you're like, "Sir, this card doesn't work. It's declined." I'm like, "Wait," and I reverted back to 20 years ago. I was like, "There's monies in there. I know there's
monies in there."
And then there's people waiting behind me as they look me up and down, and are like, "This bum's trying to buy a bunch of alcohol and other garbage, and he's got no money, and he's doing the whole."
Look at how skinny he is. It drinks his life away.
and then I went back and forth. I'm like, this just worked the other day.
Oh,
There's
you
no
did
reason.
that? You did the there's money on there.
Yeah. Then I was very embarrassed and to find out Crystal had canceled all our cards because the old peace sign vase and the Meemaw scam.
I didn't know it was going to cancel yours. Why would it cancel your? I didn't know you had the same card number as me. That doesn't make any sense.
Well, I don't think you should. You should have a separate card number. At least I do. I'm not allowed to have the same card number. I have to have a separate one so my wife can track me like a prisoner.
That's what I thought. You know, I also made a mistake. I switched us from my Delta American Express like 6 months ago over to a United Visa because I was tired of having to go through Atlanta using our like Sky Miles.
Yeah.
And they recently just took me down from platinum to silver. I was also unhappy about that.
They jumped you from platinum to silver. What happened to gold? You need to call them and say, like, where's gold?
I know. They reconfigured everything. But anyway, so I made an emotional move, I think, to a new credit card. And the old one used to be two different numbers, but this one was the same.
I love emotional moves. I like it when my football team loses and I smash my TV.
I guess what happens with emotional business decisions is Crystal's like, the Delta tickets are cheaper now.
They are. And you know what? I booked our tickets for our next ski trip. I ended up booking them on Delta, and I didn't have any freaking miles to buy them with because they're all on the United card.
Yeah, and you're down at silver.
To cap this whole family business, the airing of the family business.
The airing of the business.
We'll end with a scam that I almost got a scam with the other day, which I got a call. And it was, it didn't sound like an Indian call center or like there was nothing. Like usually it's like whoop, and then and then there's chaos in the background. And then I'm like, I know immediately, but this one was different, and it didn't have a scam likely. And it was like, is this Thomas Van? I'm like, yes. And they're like, your card has been compromised. And then I'm like, okay. And then they're like, can you, it's a Wells Fargo, whatever.
Could you give me the entire card number, please, and the CVC?
No, he said, is this Thomas Butler? Which is the why
that's demasculizing.
Why they said that is because I'm still under the AT&T plan of my father-in-law from me being a teen.
Nothing says success like still being under your father-in-law's AT&T plan.
Yeah, because me and Crystal have been together so long that when I was a teen,
oh my God,
out of high school going into college, that Crystal's like, if we get on my dad's plan, we'll save $180 or whatever. And then I'm like, all right, well,
you're my top five.
Oh my God.
You're my T-Mobile top five.
It was probably more like a $40 savings.
Yeah.
Hey, man, $40 is $40.
So 25 years later, nothing has changed. And so anytime I call someone, Crystal's dad's name comes up on the caller ID or whatever, and then the scam callers call me.
Yeah.
So then,
Crystal brought up something that has really ignited the chat room. Apparently, Crystal, if you want the tea, Jungle Low partnered with Target, sold her soul, and doesn't sell first party anymore.
I know.
She cashed out.
Well, she first partnered with Target and was still selling her own stuff also. She just had a limited line with Target, which I was really excited about because then I could go and look. I bought a couple of pillows and cute things. I really like her stuff, but I didn't know she closed her shop when I went onto this other phony website and gave them some money.
Sucks.
God, I wish we got that Target money. I like how people are mad that she got
It's
rich
Tom
at
and
Target.
Dan for Target.
Yeah,
What would we sell? Like
people
fart jokes?
I wanted you to be poor the rest of your life. I'm mad that you're rich. Target gave you money. That's what you're saying. Like, of course, Target's not going to want her to sell her own stuff. They're like, we want complete control over everything. That's why we paid you a lot of money.
You got to do that thing where you sell it to Target and then you start a whole new brand and make that premium, and you get all the money.
Oh, they put you in a non-compete, everything.
No, completely different brand.
Yeah.
Like it's a completely different company.
Oh, yeah. No,
like you can own that whole brand. Jungalo, that's all you. Well, this new thing is called, this is Jungle High. It's a whole new thing. Not even got my name on it.
Is it going to be the same kind of cute little...
well, she designs it. I think she still designs the stuff. She just doesn't do the production and sell direct anymore.
Gotcha.
Yeah, but
we'll get it for you.
They got a non-compete that she can't design any vases for anybody else for 10 years. Like when companies give you,
they do like to lock you down,
millions of dollars, they're like, you can't go and do anything else. I'm like, this is why we're giving you the money.
Damn, Jay Korn in our Twitch chat room, this could have been you, Crystal. He said, we had our entire bank account hacked, all 3 accounts, drained everything out of them a month ago. Every dime?
Oh my God, how does that happen? That's terrible.
How'd they get it out? With Zelle or something? Usually Zelle will text you
immediately, yeah.
Like, and you can't...
I feel like I want to know more about that, like, because I'm pretty frivolous with the, I'm loose with my passwords and,
Oh, I am. My phone's got unlimited photos of all my credit cards in it.
Yeah, right. Like, I should I be more careful? I just kind of assumed... they texted me right away, like right when the first charge went through for $48 or whatever it was. Like, they texted me and were like, is this you? This seems like fraud. So...
Yeah, they had the process, and then you're like, not fraud, I want this vase. And I'll keep inserting my credit card over and over. How did they take the money out of the bank account?
He is saying they have no idea. The bank said it happens more than you think. So he has no...
Yeah, but
he said it was all refunded, but had to close that account and open a new one.
The point is, like, getting even the money out is hard to do without some sort of notification or you verifying. Like, everything we go through our bank account always has 2-step verification. They kind of make you do it.
Yeah, it is interesting, though, but it seems like there was no problem. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I guess the worst that would happen is you go to do something and you have no money, which could be scary.
Yeah. I'm like, even if someone got into your personal bank account, how the hell would they get money out?
Let's talk to him Sunday when we go over to Lake Conway. We'll meet up with him on the lake and talk to him about it.
Okay, yeah, that sounds good.
All right, babe. Well, if
we're gonna get you the vase, I promise.
Are you? How's business going? Are those houses selling?
Are those houses? Hey,
You sounded like Pop right there.
You go swimming today. You get your feet wet.
Are you out there doing some open houses?
Working hard, hardly working. What you doing?
Are you putting out those signs, those handwritten signs, like house for sale 32 block?
Yeah, I got my big fat marker.
Those work.
What is your spread? If I come to your open house, Crystal, what is the spread that I'm going to be greeted with when I walk in the door?
Well, what do you want? Whatever you want.
I like a party sub.
Well, what's the standard?
I like. Okay, I'm gonna give you a
firehouse.
You know what? No, I don't want firehouse. You know what I want, and this is a specialty. But if you really want to start moving the housing needle, you need to go back to Hovan rolls. Do you remember Hovan rolls?
No, I don't know what that is. I'm sorry.
It's a Middle Eastern pita treat where it's like ham and like lettuce, and then they smear cream cheese on the pita and they roll it up and then they slice it into these little circles. It's kind of like those things you eat over at Publix, but it's a brand. It's called Hovan. I'm telling you right now, you get some Hovan rolls in there.
Well,
you'll be selling houses. Oh, you won't have enough houses to sell.
It depends on what the neighborhood is. If you get the Hovan, the Locks, like you gotta go.
They got tabbouleh. Do you like tabbouleh?
You guys are naming a bunch of stinky stuff. We're not going to bring stinky food.
No, tabbouleh's not stinky. It's like what is it? Tabbouleh with cucumbers, some garlic, some feta cheese in there.
Frying fajitas.
No, nobody wants to walk into a house.
I'm not calling them. The chat room's yelling at them. They're like, call them pinwheels like a goddamn American. I'm not. They're Hovan rolls. I'm calling them what they're called, Hovans.
You're going
to get some cookies and some soda and water if you come.
What kind? Is it cold soda or warm soda?
It's always cold. I ice cold it.
How familiar are you with the property videos?
With the what?
The property videos on the porno sites.
I don't know what you're talking. I know that just as much as I know what a Hovan roll is.
Google.
She doesn't watch that stuff. Only men do.
You're missing out. All right, well, we better get out of here. It's getting weird.
All right, babe. I'll talk to you later.
Bye.
Bye.
See ya. Very nice of her to allow us to call her up and we make her look like a fool.
Anyway,
you need to go to that, boss.
And then I thought to myself, I was like, all right, well, if we're under my father-in-law's AT&T plan for now it's been 25 years, then at this point, we have to be grandfathered into something, right?
Yeah.
And then it turns out, like, when Crystal looked into it, like, they were like, oh, you're paying more than you should be.
Oh, sorry.
And they're like, no one ever keeps their account open this long, and they always change it to get the cheaper rate. So
I didn't like that you called. You're like, well, of course. I mean, we signed up for this in 2002. Yeah. We've been on there for like 23 years. Let's check and see what the savings are. You're paying $700 a month or something.
Because they were like, everybody always calls and says, we're going to cancel if you don't.
No, they don't. That's not true. Everybody does not always call.
That's what the norm is. Like, they don't hold their account and just keep taking the increases. They always get mad. They're like, I'm going to leave if you don't make this less.
I think most people don't look.
Well, apparently we don't. And then my father-in-law damn sure didn't notice anything.
Yeah.
And then next thing you know, we're paying more.
It's like the cable bill, right? Like it creeps up and people are like, you finally look at it and you're like, what the hell is this?
No, yeah, that's what they, but I think like a lot of people in like, check especially everybody.
Well, Andrea does.
But
look at me. Do you think I do?
No, but you got Andrea.
Right. But if I didn't have her.
No, yeah.
When I was a single man, I got into I've talked about this. I'm not good with money.
Yeah.
I can be if I really apply myself to it. My mom sat me down. I had to have like a little thing where I put all my bills. I had to schedule an alarm to go off for me to pay them, and I just sit there and physically write checks. You know what I mean? I'm not good at it.
Okay, well, your mom taught you about money.
But I'm bad at it.
I didn't learn about it. Like, you should be better if you got taught about it.
Let me preface. The only reason my mom taught me about it is because I was making so many bad decisions, like overdrafting, couldn't pay this. Try to borrow for the, you know what I mean? And then she's like, hold on, I'm going to show you how to do this. So it was out of necessity. It wasn't like they did it out of the kindness of their heart.
My mom taught me if you just keep calling over and over, you'll finally get a nice big black person. Mama that will give you your money back.
I love the nice big black mamas. They're so nice.
And then they'll feel sorry
get
for
you. Get a real
you
human on the line.
That if you, but back in the early 2000s, it was actually... it was not automated. Now, I'm sure that it's way harder to get your overdraft charges back.
I tried to cancel an order from the aforementioned Fanatics Corporation, and the only way you could do it is to go online. You had to go online and physically talk to a chat bot, and you're putting in numbers and codes. It's completely there's nothing human about it.
Yeah.
Now, it worked. I will give it to that. It did work, but there's nothing. It is all automated, and if you mess up one digit, you're screwed. There's no help. There's no critical thinking. There's no, let me try this. There's no, let me try this. That's gone.
Yeah. You're just doing the process, the automated process.
If you can't do the process and you can't do it the way that the way they want you to do it, you're probably not going to. You might as well just keep what you have and eat it.
All right.
We got to get out of here, right?
Yeah.
Anything to remind everybody about?
We got our Big Beer Fest and Sofa and Suds coming up November 23rd and 24th. They're both free.
Yes,
downtown Sanford. The Beer Fest has got live music, vendors, food trucks. There's going to be 30 breweries out there. We're giving a free sample cups starting at noon.
And just come hang out. It's going to be great music. Silver Linings playing. It's going to be so fun.
The first 500 people will get a gift bag with gifts from our sponsors and us. We're making a magnet this year and stuff. So that'll be from starting at noon. Yep. So if you get there early, then just go to Celery City or West End for a beer. Wait for the free beer to start giving out. That'll start at 1.
Yep.
Silver Linings starts starts at noon. Or sorry, at 2 p.m.
Yeah, 2 p.m.
We got some other
Orlando music syndicates out there.
Yeah,
We got some music for you guys that way. And again, just hanging out. I'm going to be like walking all around talking to everybody. It's one of the, if not the most fun events that we do, and it will certainly be a lot of fun to see you guys.
Yep, free. And then the Sanford couch races are the next day on Sunday.
Yeah, man, come for Sofa and Suds. And guys, thank you so much for listening, and we will see you tomorrow.